What is going on, IPL Nation? It is your boy, Yoshi God, bringing you today SOS 224, brought to you by Proving Grounds, date to be decided, joined here by Jokera. Jokera, how are you feeling about our sponsor, Proving Grounds? Tournament that's coming up TBD.
Well, I mean, you know what? Sometimes you gotta prove your ground, but right now's not that time. In fact, it's time to swim your sink. As we're getting into our first round here with Swimmer Sink 224, we have Phantom Masks versus 11'8" Bridge, starting out on Barnacle Zone.
Yeah, two pretty solid teams here. I've recognized names on both sides. Of course, Hax is my former LAN teammate from Anarchy Nova, who sold at every single given moment and lost us every single game. So, because it's never my fault, it's their fault. But, I'm a big fan of 11'8" Bridge. They do some good stuff, but Phantom Mask, they're a solid team too.
I'm unfortunately not as familiar with the comp scene as I think anyone compared to anyone else who does commentary. So I'll just take your word on both of these two teams.
It's funny you say that. Taking your word is actually sponsored by LSL, coming soon, TBD. So make sure I look out for that too. But that's a great segue there. Thank you, Jokera. As we're looking forward to our first map here, Barnacle and Dime on zones, a staple in the comp scene. Any thoughts on this map, Jokera? Maybe a favorite, maybe not.
I think we should be removing this map from map list personally. I just don't think it's all that.
That's a freezing cold take right there. I don't know. That's crazy. Really? You just suck at it or something? What is it, Joker? I offer coaching. I offer coaching if you need coaching, We can sit down, figure out what's going on. I don't know.
Listen, all right, if you want to win on Barnacle Zones, if these two teams want to win on Barnacle Zones, you have to put way too much focus on the other side, on the edges surrounding the zone. It's never about the zone it's never in the zone, if you will.
And it's actually a great sponsor, In the Zone, coming soon. I believe it's this weekend, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. But you heard it here from Jokera first. You do have to edge the zone as much as possible in order to win the zone. Is that correct? Is that what I heard?
I suppose that is a way that you could put it. But then, once you do finally get the zone, you just never have to push up. You could just stand on that plat the whole time. You don't ever have to move because there's nowhere a better place to move.
You want to know why, Jokera?
Why?
Because you're in the zone. Coming soon to you this weekend. Be sure to sign up if you haven't already. Right?
Yeah, you gotta be in that zone.
In that zone. Exactly. I think the two teams are just setting up here momentarily. We are waiting for them to get in the room here. But Jokera, then while we're waiting, how are you feeling about this SOS 224? I know we had a discussion about how we felt the tournament was going to go beforehand, which is very real and did happen. But, what are you feeling about this tournament? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm excited, I'm excited to get in here. We're getting into some teams. It is currently mostly post Ludi season, but as we are getting into the NA League season, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of, I think, interesting teams coming out here, folks that want to practice in order to be prepared for the NA League. Some teams coming off of Ludi Ludi season wins or just Ludi season results. CCA also just wrapped up. There's so many leagues that wrapped up getting into the NA League. And now that we're getting into some of the weeklies that are following these pre-existing leagues that are now leading into the NA League, we're starting to see, I think, a lot of interesting teams come out.
Yeah, sort of a changing of seasons, some might say, a little bit of a different change of pace, different competitions. I know I played in Ludi this season, so my season unfortunately came to a blistering halt when we lost every single game of our D9 league. which I would like to blame solely and squarely on the hands of my teammates Infa and Microwave and Lantern Fox. I played every game perfectly. I just want the audience here to know that. So, but yeah, kind of a changing of the guards sort of in terms of leagues that are coming up. But, you know, to put it in the words of Allen Iverson, I don't think this has anything to do with practice. You know, practice? Talk about practice? It's a big tournament today, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, it's a relatively big tournament. We've got around 42 teams. I had to pull that up there.
And just throw the tournament under the bus. Yeah, just keep doing that. Can we fire? Can I get a head TO of IPL to fire them real quick? I'm done. I need another co-commentator. Can we get someone else?
What?
Yeah, joke. What?
Because I don't know the tournament.
Yep. Exactly. Okay. Unprofessional. Some might say fireable.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't think it's crazy at all. We're still waiting on 2 players right now at the time 8:08. I do actually then want to tell a little story then to start us off here, just so I get it off my chest. I was in my college class recently, and I was talking to this girl. As some might say, I was rizzing up the baddies, if you will. And we were talking, and I brought up the fact that I did Splatoon commentary. By the way, people at home, you don't do this, all right? This is an L move, as they say in the Twitch chat. And I'm talking to them, and they're like, "Oh, can you show me, where you commentate?" So I pull up the great IPL Splatoon channel, right? As you would. It's the best channel in all of competitive Splatoon, right? So I pull it up. And I was the top clip, and I was like, this is awesome. I'm the top clip. This is kind of a flex. I look at the top clip, and it says, Yoshi God professes his love to Topic. Clipped by Grace. So, shout out Head TO Grace. I got her Instagram, not Grace's, the person I was talking to in my class, ghosted me, shockingly enough. So, I want to thank Grace for not being a real one. And, what do you have to say about Grace, Joe Cara? That's an L move, right? That's got to be an L move.
Listen, I'm sorry, but Grace is my GOAT. That's my GOAT right there. I'm sorry.
No, they're not.
Yes.
They're going to screw you over like they screwed me over.
How? In what possible way?
What if you're just risen up the baddies and you try to pull up where you commentate, and then all of a sudden it says like Joe Cara professes his love to so and so. It's love to so and so. We're getting into the game. Let's talk about Splatoon here, guys. Let's see what kind of comps they have. We see a lot of what you're normally seeing on the side of the other team. They do see the Nautilus that is more favorable back in 2. You do see a Blobber on the side of 11'8" Bridge. What do you make of these comps, Joe Cara?
Well, as we're getting into the game here, these comps are definitely going to be fighting over for a neutral on the zone for a lot of the time, as we see just some interest, just some neutral right now. We see the Gals trading, Tent trying to move forward, just trying to take some space here as we get into this game. Phantom Masks trying to take an early lead. Dreadringer going in, does not find any picks. 2, almost a quad, almost a wipeout. Oh yes, that wipeout on the side of 11'8" Bridge as they start to move up, and they move up fast.
Yeah, quick and easy move up for the 11'8" Bridge as 2 go down for Hacks. Can a third come across? No, they can't. And now they're going to start taking left side. Renzo patiently waiting on the block, waiting for someone to drop. Ill thought out of drop. One does go. Are they going to find them? No. Elects to play for left. They do kill the junior, and now they don't have left anymore. The flank is going to come in. It's quickly dispatched, and now the slider onto nobody, unfortunately, does get punished. They're going to start pushing back in. It's a 3-on-3 in the side of Pit. Are they going to find one? Unfortunately, the tent goes down, and so does the Blob, but not before Agaric takes one. Can they find one more on the flank? The bubble bubble goes down. It does not save the junior. A guard still trying to find a way through the flank. They don't get there in time. The zone is gone. The jump is canceled, and the Phantom Masks is back on top.
Phantom Masks coming in clutch here with a very, very last-minute flip to give 11'8" Bridge a very solid penalty to work up towards. However, Phantom Masks were not able to push up that much further, not able to take that plat. They're going to have to try and cancel out this neutral right here as we see the slider coming out, still not able to find anyone, unfortunately, as the Dreadringer goes down. 11'8" Bridge almost immediately coming back in, having flipped the zone, playing that neutral, playing that retake very well as we see them try and get back into the position that they were in previously.
Yeah, they're trying to seize that lockout again. Hack's trying to find one is just about able to get a trade. But now Renzo is going to try to find an angle here on the knot, and they are able to find one. Is there going to be more fighting on court? The Blob is trying to make sure they have zone intact, as there is one on the left flank. Are they going to find them in time? A jump is coming through as well. They're not going to get able to kill them, and I don't think they saw the jump either. There's 10 ticks left on the zone. Are they going to be able to hold it for long enough? No, they won't, and they do dispatch the Blob. They do get the tent too. That's another wipe for the side of Phantom Masks.
Phantom Mask again. They came back in, decided to take some, not able to find the, I believe that was the tent there. They had to make a quick jump out after that. Phantom Mask looking to make a walkout of their own. They have the bubble. They have many options here that they can use. Finding, even in spite of the Reef Slider, is able to find some picks here. Dreadringer does go down to the rain here. 11'8" Bridge. It may be only 2 down. It may be just the Blob, but the Blob can paint pretty well. They can still find some way to keep this zone neutralized, be able to take it back, and start getting some points back. And they are able to find that, get a 3 down on the side of Phantom Masks as they once again push back into that lockout position.
Exactly. That Blobber paint is sponsored by High Ink, by the way. Announcement TBD, as we are seeing the Blobber now moving around plat, trying to find a way in. They're playing the Osu weapon. Click the circles. Can they find them? They don't find them, but they do end up setting up a kill for the Zuka, as they are painting around more. 8 seconds left on the penalty, going down to 9 now. They just need to hold on for a little bit longer. The rain is going to come down to get a little bit of paint down, but it won't be enough. And Phantom Masks, a little bit too late on their retake. 11'8" Bridge do take the first map via knockout.
It was definitely a very back and forth game, but their 11'8" Bridge definitely had the overall better comp for walking out here. The Blob and the tent especially allow just for so many options here. We see on this replay with the Blob, there's just, with how much range Blob has, with how much the ability for Blob to be able to just fling ink everywhere, be able to paint consistently throughout it as a backline is really, really valuable, especially on a map like Vertical Zones. But now, as we're getting into our second game on Rainmaker Humpback, I'm interested in seeing if any of these teams, if we see almost the same comps come out from each team.
I'd be curious to see that too. It's a very different map. The elevation change in the middle is something that has caused me a lot of pain and suffering as a 10 player. You go down that ramp with the tent, you launch the shield, and all of a sudden the shield is lower than you, and you're not short enough to hide behind it, and someone dinks you on the top of it. I will say a lot of sleepless nights have been lost to that. I do have trouble sleeping at night because of those deaths. You know, I'm sure you have a similar story on this map, right?
Yeah, definitely. The most I remember this map for is I remember getting I got a splashdown cancel in Splatoon 2 with Fizzy Bomb on this map somehow. But
safe to say that person probably got blocked by everyone they were playing with, I think, right? I think that's a block. That's a report to Nintendo for throwing. But I don't think I'd ever speak to them again.
Yeah, but getting back onto the comps here, again, with each comp, I think there are some valuable tools that each team can bring out. The Blob, especially for object damage, the Tent, again, for making those pushes, as well as the Octobrush Nouveau on the side of 11'8" bridge, but also having that knot there for being able to cover both tracking and having a way to push in, as well as that reef slider for reef rushdown. Date to be determined. Sponsoring this stream, we see the Knot 79 coming out, as well as a Comets Octobrush from each team.
Exactly. A couple changes there on the comps as we're getting right to the action here. A brawl for the center, a brawl for the pop, and so far it looks like 11'8" bridge does win that initial fight. We do see Renzo going down right side, going to try to find a pick here. Are they going to find one? They do find one. The tent is also chipping out there, but they go back to try to vac for the Rainmaker, and they don't get the vac off, but they will get the 2 kills in front. That is a wipe. Will Hax be able to dunk this over like Iverson did way back when in Philadelphia? Excuse me, I just watched basketball recently, but let's see if they're going to be able to go here and dunk it. They do get to the podium, and bam, the dunk does go down. They do get the checkpoint, and I believe that'll be the end of 11'8" bridge's push.
Maybe the end of their push, but Phantom Masks does have to bring it a very far distance across, and even if this map is very quick to have the checkpoints get knocked out, as we see, I believe it was a double from the reef slider or the triple splashdown, one of the two. Phantom Masks almost immediately just prove me wrong and just try and just push in as fast as they can, already looking to take the lead. A bubble coming out here to help extend their lead, and being able to push in here, they are looking to try and push in very fast, but Hax coming in here to get the pick on the Rainmaker, stopping their push in its tracks.
Exactly. Their push has been sort of thwarted here as they have to now go in and try to stop 11'8" bridge from pushing off of what initially was a dunk on the side of 11'8" bridge, and they do just that with the splashdown. Oh my god, the Knot switch has done wonders for them. They get them immediately at the choke point. Holy, what a play from the Knot. What a move. I don't think I've seen that in a while. Holy, maybe it wasn't like the Splashdown U experience, right? No cancel there. That
definitely is the case here. Phantom Mask running a double splashdown comp, actually, looking to break as many checkpoints and objects as they possibly can in order to actually gain some points here. 11'8" bridge did manage to get a decent chunk off of their points, getting closer to the lead. However, Phantom Mask again looking to extend their lead here. Players going down. Rainmaker is going to get stopped at 21. It may be 9, it may be 10, but it is not 21. Or it is 21. But you see, 11'8" bridge actually find the ability to stop Phantom Mask's push here, looking to have to drop the Rainmaker, looking to maybe take it around on the right, coming in here with the vac on the 10 to try and extend their push.
Unfortunately does get shut down by the custom blaster as they are going to try to pop, and I think now it's going to be more of a time to stall out for points because they do have 9 plus 10 points at their disposal to work with here. They don't have quite an easy time though to get to that Rainmaker. I believe 11'8" is just going to get the Rainmaker and just sneak away. And the blob from the last game is now going to try to spam shots here. Maybe find one, try to find one something with their AoE. They're going to have time here. They have about a minute with the Rainmaker, as we all know, in order to make something happen. The splashdown does come out early, unable to find anyone, and now the vac comes out. Holy, this might be a play, but they're able to shoot just over the vac. The Nautilus is holding their own. They stay alive for just long enough, but Agaric, the 10 player, stays alive around the elevated part with what used to be the basket. It's not there anymore, though. Hax is trying to find someone with the Kraken. It's not going to happen. And just when we thought that 11'8" bridge would break back in, unfortunately, Phantom Mask shuts them down.
Yeah, I mean, they 11'8" bridge were able to drop the Rainmaker at the very least, comparatively to the previous pushes. Once again, they have that vac. The vac does not go down to the splashdown. The vac is going to come out here, going to try and allow the tent to live as much as they can. Unfortunately, not able to find any pushes, any points with that vac, but with the Rainmaker reset, there is an opportunity here, and a tent going in, getting 2 picks on both of these splashdown weapons on the side of Phantom Masks. As we see the Junior having to fight the Octobrush for pop here, it does not look like Phantom 11'8" bridge is going to have as much time as they would want to, especially with 2 players going down.
Yeah, third goes down as well as Hacks. All is left is with the 10 player. Can they find a way in? The 10 is still trying to fight. They're still trying to find a way in. They're moving around. I think they did back up, though. They are going to wait for their teammates to regroup as they can't isolate a fight on the elbow as Renzo tries to find them, but has to back off. 10 seconds left. Are they going to be able to find them? They get everybody else. They're running after the Rainmaker. Are they going to be able to find them? They're chasing. They're running. They're scurrying, but they can't find them. Oh my God! Just barely escaping the clutches of the Osu gun as map 2 goes in the form of Phantom Masks. We thought it would be maybe a little bit simpler given how much in control they were through that game. Not so much at the end, though. They did have to fight for it.
Yeah, I just want to know, how much swim speed was the blaster running to be moving like that with the Rainmaker?
Might have to check their sendo after this, you know?
You see them, they're moving so fast. Do they have aura or something? They're just going instantly, just trying to get as far away as possible. But now, we are getting into game 3. Ship-shaped splat zones.
I hate this map.
You hate this map.
I hate this
Why
map.
do you hate this map?
Listen, all right, I'll boil it down this way, right? This map, I have an issue with. It's kind of a hallway map, all right? Listen, in terms of the maps that are available in this game, like, it's not that bad, right? But if I'm gonna, like, you know, if I'm like the development team, you know, like, and I want to make like a map, like, this is not what I want to model maps at. It's too much of a hallway, and my weapons suck at hallway maps with long range goals because I'm playing like a short range shooter, so I can't deal with the leader. So every time I make one little mistake, and the leader just gets me, and I hate it so much. I don't enjoy it. So that's my reason. But these teams probably don't have those issues like I do.
Well, you see, the thing is, if you want to deal with the leader on this map, you have to go around on the right side. And I think that's going to be a very important part of the map, especially for 11'8" bridge. On the side of Phantom Masks, if they bring out that double splashdown comp again, there is a lot of opportunity for them to just keep canceling out and taking the zone back with just splashdown after splashdown. However, using that flank on the right side, especially with both teams not really running a backline outside of 11'8" bridge with the Blob Lubber, there's a good opportunity, I think, for 11'8" bridge to come around and use those flanks to their advantage. Phantom Masks, obviously, again, they have that double splashdown, they have that reef slider, they have so many zone options, but they did not use them in the first game. Instead, they did bring out a 52 gal and the vanilla Nautilus with the Inkstorm. So I'd be interested in seeing if they keep at least one of the splashdown weapons as we move into this third game here.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if they do that too, as we are heading in right to game 3 here. It's as we all know, 1 + 1 = 2, folks, and you do need to win 2 maps to win the set. So let's see if there's any big splashdown weapons. Not much change going on the side of 11'8" bridge. We do see the one splashdown weapon, on the side of Phantom Mask, so no double splashdown anymore as we begin the fight in mid here. Agarg is going to try at the start of the game to pressure them early on the right side as they do push in. They do jump out immediately. They're not seeing a favorable fight, but they do get the trade on the left side with the blaster. Here comes the Reef Slider to disconnect them. Are they going to get anything out of it, though? No, they aren't. Agarg is still alive. They're going to try to find the Nautilus. They do kill the person on the left side of bridge, and now they have the zone. They're pushing in more. Are they going to find the last kill? They will not. They just keep their life here, and the Dread is going to try to chip them out. They will get hacks, but that is the first push for 11'8" bridge.
Yeah, 11'8" bridge again, moving in as fast as they can, trying to get that luck out here. As we see Phantom Masks pushing in, Blaster going down, not able to find anything. They currently have a bubble, or probably building up for that Reef Slider in order to try and take back the zone here. The bubble is going to be very helpful here as we see the Reef Slider coming in. It's going to be it's only a matter of time before we see it come out, and not able to find any picks, not able to find anything on the zone. We see critical wipeout on the side of 11'8" bridge for Phantom Masks to come in and take the zone back, neutralizing it, giving yet another large penalty for 11'8" bridge to work through, just like the Barnacle game.
Exactly, yeah. Huge push there for the side of Phantom Mask, but they do have a pesky tent on their flank. Are they going to be able to deal with it? They won't. They do go down 1 to the tent. Are they going to find the second one? They do get 2, actually. So now, all of a sudden, that flank that was seemingly maybe a little bit in a weaker spot now was a huge part of it. They do get the zone. Now it's time to push in and find some more value. The rain goes down. They are taking some passive positions, but it's on the button of Phantom Mask to try to push in here. Where do they end up going? They do see the Dread on the right side, but one goes down on left. They do drop now. Now here comes the counterattack of Phantom Mask. They do get a huge slider that gets no one somehow. Oh my god. They just avoid death. Agaric taking the fight with the blaster, but unfortunately they do let the junior slip by, and that is the lead, unfortunately. The zone unfortunately slipping around. Agaric does find one more. They are unable to get more. The splashdown comes down. They do get traded for it, and just like that, the Phantom Masks, what looked like a walkout for 11-foot-8 bridge, turns into a flip.
That was a very complicated series of events that had just happened there. So many flips, so many things happening as 11-foot-8 bridge is able to find some space and take back the zone. Not going to be popping Storm here to try and take out. We see as we see the Zuka come out, find one pick. Agar currently last one alive, still with that tent. We have seen this position a lot of times. They are not jumping back, and so they're choosing to remain back here, giving the Phantom Masks something to have to deal with. As Phantom Masks are looking to trying to get out of that penalty, not still able to find anything to get out of that penalty with. In spite of 11-foot-8 bridge being on the back foot now for what seems like half of this game, as Phantom Masks are finally able to get through that penalty, finally able to start working through their score and catch up to 11-foot-8 bridge.
Yeah, working through the score, trying to find a way, but Agaric says no. They do get one. They find 2. What a crazy flick. Just when we thought there was going to be another maybe potential push for Phantom Masks, all of a sudden they go down, and Agaric is looking for more. They're going to try to find more through the middle of the map. Unfortunately, is unable to shoot them, but the mine does get them. And now Hax is pushing in, trying to find one through Alley. Unfortunately, gets shut down. And now we see those lasers come out, zapping away at the enemy as 17 seconds remain on the time of 11-foot-8 bridge. But they are losing people. They are having to jump back here. And just when 11-foot-8 bridge seems like they're going to take it away and take the game, Phantom Mask says, no, let's keep playing. We got one more trick up our sleeves.
Yep, Phantom Mask, having used 2 specials, currently have another 2 online, having saved that bubble and the splashdown coming out here. Not able to find some picks, but is going to disrupt 11-foot-8 bridge. As we see Phantom Mask continue to extend their lead, even after still have the bubble. Bubble is going to get popped here. Find a pick on the blob. They are currently looking to take the lead here. Hax above, trying to get anything done on the zone. Agar also coming in, neutralize the zone. They need to be able to get it here, and they are able to get it here in order to give a penalty to Phantom Mask. This may just be what 11-foot-8 bridge needs as we're closing out the game here.
Yeah, 3 seconds left as we are able to get all of the kills here and wrap up the game here. 11-foot-8 bridge with a clutch final push there. Just at 16 points left on Phantom Mask, 3 points away from the lead. Unfortunately, 3 points too many. 11-foot-8 bridge ekes out game 3, and 1 + 1 does equal 2. That is the set in the favor of 11-foot-8 bridge.
I think those were some very solid games here coming out from both teams. I think we definitely saw overall a different story between game 1 and 2, and game 3 gave us a really close match. It was very back and forth, it felt like, throughout the entire game, especially during the middle, where it felt like Phantom Mask just constantly were keeping up with 11-foot-8 bridge in order to keep on top of the zone, in spite of having lost so many points at the start of the game, just trying to be able to catch up. 11-foot-8 bridge were able to take the zone back and be able to just flip it enough in order to give them that penalty on the side of Phantom Mask in order to secure game 3 there.
Exactly, and as we take a look at our little tic-tac-toe map, unfortunately, that line in the middle does not mean someone's won the group. We do have 2 more games left in pools, as we do see that Phantom Masks and The 11-8 bridge does get updated to 2-1. We're still waiting on the other couple games to come through, but that's okay. You know what they say? Good things come to those who wait. Am I right? It's a real statement. That's pretty real.
That
right?
is, in fact, a real statement that people say.
That is a real statement. I'm like a philosopher out here. You know what I mean? I'm like a young Descartes. You know, a young Camus, if you will. You know, the audience. You know, the Machiavellians in the audience. I don't know what that word means. That I'm just throwing that one out, but they know. I don't know what that means, but they know. If you know that complicated word you associate, you probably know. I don't know what that means, but you probably know. Hey, I'm not a Renaissance man, all right? I'm just a red man, all right? I don't got the whole sauce at the end. You know, I don't got the sauce. I'm just the first part. Oh my God! But as we are, we're waiting for a couple of games here. You know, Jokera, do you need a break, or do you want to talk about life for a little bit?
I actually think we have our next match ready.
Oh, we do?
So, apparently.
Oh, we do, Matt. It says next match ready. Oh, my Lord. Speak of the devil. It is the next match. Who would have guessed? Not me.
Yeah.
It is Gaia against the UTK Feeders. I've heard of Gaia. I don't know. I played SedCon. I took a game off SedCon, all right? Anyone who says I suck at this game, I took one game off SedCon and a Sendo queue. I think they're +3 or something. I don't know. Listen, I'm not that bad, all right? I'm not that bad.
Yeah, but we are getting into our next game here for round 2. Gaia versus UTK Feeders. I'm assuming Feeders is similar in concept to feeding the Splatoon concept, but I could also be wrong on that. So
what if they're a feeder fish? That
could also make sense. But as we get into our first map here on Splat Zone's Hagglefish,
Can someone give me? Does anyone know what UTK means? By the way, let me look this up. You keep talking. I'll look this up. Hold on.
Okay, this map is definitely a very it's a very neutral map. I would say.
Ew, but, University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Oh, I guess. I'm not a big SEC guy. Sorry, folks at home. I'm not a big SEC guy, so you're gonna have to bear with me there. I guess that's what that means.
Just as CCA wraps up, that would be.
That would make sense. That is how time works. As we FDR spec, what? As we do get both teams, you see a fairly meta comp on the side of Gaia. A little bit of some variation on the side of the UTK Eaters. We see that Sploosh Neo coming out. We see the Sploosh Neo coming out in the dualies. So, a little bit of variance there. Something a little new.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting into this first game here. Gal immediately on the side of UTK Feeders 2 going down. Sploosh jumping back instantly thanks to those quick beacons. Those beacons, I think, are going to be a very massive thing here for UTK Feeders. If we see the Sploosh coming down and Gaia almost immediately coming in to take some space here and take some names. As we see the Crab coming out on the side, not able to find anything, but is able to get a large amount of chip damage out on the side of UTK Feeders. The VAC coming out as we see almost 50 points down, not even a minute into the game on the side of Gaia.
Yeah, but this first 50 minutes has kind of gone down. FDR on the team, historically did have a little bit of issues with getting shot at, but he is trying to make a way through the zone. As we do see them finding a way around, they are working around the geometry in the middle rather beautifully right now. And now we see them try to make a play in there, but unfortunately it gets shut down as the dualies, the last person who's at the back of the zone, is unable to do anything here. They're going to try to get a flank with the 52, but unfortunately they go down 2. A jump on the flank gets shut down as well, and so does the one on court. Everything is falling apart, and Gaia with the quick 100-0 there.
That I gotta say that was a really, really solid counter push on the side of Gaia to prevent UTK Feeders from giving them any kind of penalty. They just were holding on by a thread in order to prevent that zone from falling. using the pen paint, using the paint from a lot of the other weapons that they have. That Gal especially, and the Gal and the Decav, both of which paint a ton and we're able to come in and be able to allow them to keep the push up. However, now as we're getting into our next map on Tower Undertow Spillway. Okay,
I'm gonna have to. Okay. Who's picking these maps? Let me at them.
We've had Tower Undertow Spillway since 2024. All right, we've had it for a solid amount of time.
Hey, just because something's old doesn't mean it's good.
Okay, sure.
Get cooked. That's a valid counter argument right there.
Okay, say that to every tournament that has been running Zone's Mecha Market since the launch of the game.
Every time it comes up, I say the same thing. But Undertow, it's got like some nuance to it. The lifted part in the middle, I forget, like 30 different teams call it 30 different things. Does provide a little bit of an interesting kind of perspective of mid. You can't really support each other. You have to kind of commit to one side or the other almost, it feels like at times. The elevation is kind of sneaky, so the angles become very awkward. It's a very vertically challenged map, which you'd normally not find in a lot of the maps that are played in competitive right now. So it does provide the nuance there. I suppose it's a cool map, I guess, Joe Carey, you can keep talking about it, I guess. I don't know.
This map truly tests your ability to become king of the castle. Date to be determined. As we're getting into the Undertow game here, as we see the Booyah Stamper come out, as well as the Knocked Doubles, giving double whale for the side of UTK Feeders.
Hey, they're trying to, they got FDR on the team, they're trying to snipe the other guys, so it kind of makes sense, kind of poking around, trying to get the long range angles. He's pretty familiar with them as we are getting ready for the fight on mid, as they do get a trade on the right side here. All of a sudden, Gaia is going to have to find another pick if they want to keep pushing here. The cooler does go down. 3 of them do pick it up, and they do take zone first. Here comes the Crab now, trying to push back their backline. They do have to drop back, but Spec FDR is sneaking around the backline. Unfortunately, unable to do more than just that one kill, but they are able to get their knocked in. Finds 1, finds 2. Can they find the 3rd? Close up, misses a shot. Come on, I believe in you, please. No, doesn't do it, unfortunately. But a very swift counter push on the side of UTK Feeders. Excuse me. And yeah, good start.
Yeah, as we see, Feeders almost able to find that lead swap, but unfortunately, it is still pretty early into the game. Neither team has gotten past 75 or 3/4 or 1/4 of the points needed to score, as Gaia is already looking to move quickly to that second check. They have a Crab, they have a Booyah, they have so many options currently up online, as well as the cooler coming in. We see 2 on the side of Feeders trying to move left, trying to take it back. Whale coming out, looking to disrupt. They are able to get some picks here, are able to get some stops. We see Odwin still trying to take some names, is able to live on a sliver of health.
Yeah, just kind of trying to find a way to kill this tricky Sploosh player. They are able to kill them, but not without killing themselves. That is a trade. Now we see the Pen trying to farm up paint for a cooler. They are able to get it quickly, and it's going to be placed on the left side here. It's going to be interesting because a lot of the UTK Feeders are positioned on the right side, but they move to the left immediately, perhaps not knowing about that cooler. 2 go down on the side of the UTK side. There's 3. Is the Sword going to find 1 more? Unfortunately, he's unable to, but now the pressure is on. The UTK is going to have to find a way in, and right now they unfortunately do die to a bomb that does not hurt. Plug in the headset maybe, I don't know, but all of a sudden everyone has to drop back, and now they're going to pounce. They're going to see if they can find an opening here. Here comes the Nox, unfortunately unable to find one and play the advantage that the dualies gave them, but just when I say that they're not going to find anything, oh my god, I'm so far behind, excuse me. Gaia just immediately shuts everything down, and all of a sudden, just a brawl. It's just a brawl in mid. I I gotta say that it's just a brawl. All right, that's all I can really add to this right now. A back and forth slugfest, if you will.
Gaia push up to that third check and almost immediately had to fight for their lives to maintain the tower as they're looking to break that third check. Knock is going to go down. A Sploosh Neo and still not able to find things. Space currently coming in with those dualies as Gaia is currently 7 points away, looking to take the lead here, and they are able to get the knockout, taking round 2 2-0 against UTK Feeders.
Exactly. That was, wow. Jesus Christ. I don't think I've had like a moment on comms where I had to like just mentally just give myself a breather almost mid-comm, because holy, that ending right there was just insane. I mean, back and forth from both teams. Just when you thought one team, is going to push past the tower, all of a sudden, the cooler is just bringing them back and they're able to once again respawn and try again. And it's just that cooler gameplay allows for some of this exciting back and forth, and Gaia just is able to just out-edge them in that regard. And we are going to see map 3 go to Robo Ramen Zones, which is a personal favorite of mine. This is actually one of my favorite, favorite maps.
It is a best of 3.
Oh, is it best of 3? I'll play all 3?
Yeah, it's best of 3. You can find play all 3 in FT and from the Ink Up FTIU.
You can also find it in LSL as well. They also. Oh my God. It's funny because you can't run it. You can find it at FTIU, like you said. You can find it at LSL. There's so many of these these tournaments that are currently running, and they're currently happening, right? LSL famously still happening, and it's crazy. There's so many tournaments to play.
Yeah, there are so many tournaments to play.
For those at home and want to making a YouTube video, just talk about how there's too many tournaments going on, and I'm sure it'll do well.
Yeah, we're bringing back 2000. We're bringing back late 2024, early 2025 again.
Yeah, 25 content farming.
But I believe. We are getting into our round 3. This SOS has been moving extremely quickly, I must say.
Tournament running on time? That's a good one.
We do see our next match for round 3. PACEMAKER versus Regulus on Umami Splat Zones.
Dude, Batman's Tinder account? That's a hard name. That's a top 10 name right there. That is, I think, the best name I've seen, probably by far, while I'm commentating. That right there, just for that, biased commentary towards PACEMAKER. That's a great name. That's a phenomenal name. You can't say that's not a good name, Joe Cara. You can't say that's not a good name.
I'm inclined to agree. I have never seen. I feel like they have played an SOS before. I feel like I've seen that name before. And I think I remember having the exact same reaction. That is an awesome name.
It's a great name. It's a great name. You know what? And the if you take the first letters of each one, it's BTA. And for those, I'm not going to finish it because there's an explicitive in that. But if you're a sports fan, maybe that's what they're going to give Regulus. I'm just saying. Maybe it's a hidden message. Maybe I'm Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I guess we'll never know, Please tell me you know that, Joe Cara. You don't know that? Please don't tell me.
I don't know that.
Oh my.
But we do have that.
Kick it out. I don't want it here anymore. I don't want Joe Cara here anymore.
All right. Well, unfortunately, you're still gonna have me here for the next 2 rounds as we get into Splat Zones on Umami Ruins, one of the only 2-zone maps that we play in this game, and also one of 3 2-zone maps in 4. There are 4 2-zone maps in this game. I forgot about Lemuria.
Dude, Lemuria, that needs to be tournament legal, first of all right? That's my scorching hot take of the broadcast. Lemuria Zones is peak nonfiction. But specifically with the Umami Zones, it's one of those maps that it's kind of deceiving in its simplicity. You know, people always see it's a 2-lane map, and it's one of those things where it's like, it plays like every other 2-lane map, but I beg to differ. I think the difference really between a map like Undertow and a map like Umami is kind of how much more flat it is compared to its other Undertow brethren. And because of that, that lifted section in mid becomes so much more important, so much more decisive in whether or not you're going to be taking the zones or not. So I'm curious to see how both teams react to that. Obviously, Dome also taking a big part in this map as well when on retake. It's important to take Dome before you take everything else, but I'm sounding like your coach that you probably don't listen to in coaching sessions anyways. So, Jokera, why don't you give some fun analysis instead?
Yeah, so I'll as Yoshi God was saying, being able to take control of and push up through the middle block there is very important on this map, especially with not only how flat it is, but also just how little space you have.
Come on, man, say something funny. Say something funny. Say something funny.
One could call it, hold on a minute, which one have I not said before? One could say that you must have a prism to break.
Which is coming soon. TBD.
But yeah, being able to push through and take control of, you better not play the honk shoe sound effect again. If you do, I'm going to be mad.
I won't do it.
Okay. Listen, we're just waiting on some players right now so we can actually get into the game here, and we are getting into the game here to start us out for round 3 as we see the Vanilla Heavy Comets Octobrush, as well as another Vanilla Heavy and an Ink Brush.
Damn, this is paint. This is paint-mageddon is what I like to call this. This is just people who are just trying to paint the map. And honestly, I don't blame them. This map does like when you have a lot of paint. As I said at the start, that top part is so important in mid. They do get the first pick, and they get the second one in left. All of a sudden, the S-Blast, 3 go down on the side of Regulus at the start of the map, and 1 unfortunately does go down on the side of PACEMAKER, trying to extend a little bit too quick, a little bit too fast. PACEMAKER now trying to find a way back in as they are trying to extend their lead. They're going to try to find a way to get through Dome. There goes the almost point sensor use of the wave breaker as 2 go down with the bomb. Maybe didn't hear it, maybe didn't see it. Now here comes Regulus coming right back with their bubble. They are moving around the right zone, trying to find ways to take the left zone now. They are pressuring the Slosher there, overwhelmed, overrun, overtaken, and a Kraken left that gets canceled out very quickly. That's going to be a wipe and a subsequent push for Regulus.
Right. I think we saw the stamp from the side of the Ink Brush Nouveau be able to take the Octo Brush almost immediately after they respawn. Regulus again looking to take a large lead here. They have 2 specials here. They're saving that Wave Breaker for when PACEMAKER tries to push back in, PACEMAKER using their own strikes to push back in. We do see the Wave Breaker come out. A Reef Slider is coming out on the side of Regulus, not able to find any pigs, but they are able to at the very least neutralize the zone and are looking to take that penalty, and they do get that penalty onto Regulus in order to start pushing back in. But with 3 players down, Regulus is almost immediately going to look to find a push back in.
Yeah, they're going to try to find a push back in here. They do take the left zone. They do need to take the right zone, though. They do need to start painting the right zone at some point. I hope one of them does turn the plane at some point, but they're still going to try to fight on the left zone. The strikes do go down on the side of Regulus as we are seeing them try to push back, try to find some space here. We do see Dome being a prominent part of PACEMAKER's plans. They are going to overrun it with the stamp, though. Unfortunately, unable to get the heavy edit, and they do go down, though. finished off by the junior with using its rage, just eking it out, as now Regulus is in the driver's seat. They're going to try to put some more pressure. The Kraken comes down for the retake for PACEMAKER. They're going to try to find someone, gets stuck on the block. Unfortunately, the strikes go down. Hopefully they can find someone, but it's a little bit too late when finding somebody. Unfortunately, they're going to have to do this without specials now. I lied. They do have something. They do have a reef. Is the Octobrush going to find someone? They do trade the reef. Unfortunately, he isn't going to find much else with it. Regulus trades out on the block. They are going to probably take the right-left zone, which they do. And now, just when we thought PACEMAKER would be back in the game, Regulus holds firm.
Regulus coming in with a solid defense, looking to have to use that defense again. Unfortunately, 2 players do go down. They do have that Wave Breaker. Wave Breaker is going to come out looking to disrupt some of the players. Is not able to find anything as the Heavy goes down to the Reef Slider on side of PACEMAKER. PACEMAKER currently looking to make a push of their own, being able to lock out Regulus as they see the strikes come out. The Slosher coming in to try and find some picks here, not able to find anything. Inkbrush does go down. Strikes coming in on the side of Regulus again. A Kraken. Sorry, my bad. Coming out on the side of PACEMAKER.
Fire it!
To extend PACEMAKER's lead.
And we are taking applications. Please look at the SOS staff for staff application. If you can apply for commentary, please do so. We do need people other than Jokera on the commentating booth as we see the right zone get taken by Regulus. Are they going to take the left? Yes, they do. The stamp gets canceled, unfortunately. And now they're going to play through Dome, but the Heavy end unfortunately goes down. And now PACEMAKER has got a chance here to come back. No specials in hand right now, but that's okay. They are going to have a way to kill the brush, but just barely it escapes. And now with the Wave Breaker pumping out waves, oh god, pause as the Wave Breaker starts putting waves out. Are they going to be able to use it to their advantage? They won't. The Kraken finds one. Can they find the second? They're stranded in zone, but they are able to escape. And there goes the bucket. They do need to take the right zone still. The jump was ill-advised. Everyone's going down. PACEMAKER in control. They just have to hold on for 20 more seconds to win.
A PACEMAKER is stopping Regulus right one point right before they were able to get the lead back here. Strikes coming in. We do see a jump back. Regulus does have a chance here to neutralize the zone and push this game into overtime. They still have a decent penalty to work through, but they only have 1 point to take back from PACEMAKER. All they just need is a very solid defense here as PACEMAKER looking to break that, looking to disrupt that using the Kraken, able to find 2 picks. Regulus still holding on to the zone here as PACEMAKER is already looking to try and neutralize the zone here and take us to get the win for game 1.
That's a good one. I'll give it that. That's a great win right there for PACEMAKER. Great back and forth that we saw in the zones there. Just no one really having full control, and that clutch ending that we did see from the side of the PACEMAKER. Definitely going to be needing one after how this game went down. Very stressful, very anxiety-inducing, some might say. But just able to eke out the win as we are seeing those clutch kills that came out from that Kraken.
Yeah, we saw so many. I feel like both teams just had very disruptive comps here, pushing out strikes, wave breakers, Krakens, and stamps at crazy paces in order to be able to throw each team off. But PACEMAKER did come out on top and be able to take that game 1 here. But now we're getting into Clam Blitz on Scorch Gorge.
Yeah, it's a great map. I do like me some Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge. I think people don't like this map. I don't know why people don't like this map. This map is goated on the sticks, to put it in the Twitch chats vernacular. I know you young kids are watching at home. I'm hip with you guys. I'm hip, all right? Don't worry. I know the words just as much as you do. It's a hip map, as they say. It's got a lot of interesting angles. Some might say these angles are coolio, to put it in that language. I got you guys at home. Some coolio angles. So I'm curious to see how both teams kind of approach, especially that mid pillar. That's just so God, I ran out of words. I'm sorry. Just go ahead.
You're completely fine. But yes, as the kids do, in fact, yes, as the kids do, in fact, say, you are definitely going to need to be a totally tubular 8-ball station in order to.
That's a good one. That's a good one right there. That's a knee slapper. Is that what they say? It's a knee slapper. That's a knee slapper. I'll slap my knee. I slap my knee to that one. That's a knee slapper.
In order to take on this map, honestly, this map feels like it plays very similar to Umami Ruins with how much is emphasized around the pillar in the middle of the map and just constantly going surrounding mid. You're just making circles all the time. That's all it is. It reminds me of another map from another game, a Splatoon, a second 2 game, if you will.
Yeah. And if you do want to watch that, we will say that High Ink is coming soon. We are going to be running the Splatoon 2 version of that TBD. Remember, right, Joe Kara? TBD.
Yep, to be determined. But as we get into the game here, we see an S-Blast and a Cerebrella coming out on the side of PACEMAKER. We see an NZAP coming out on the side of Regulus.
I just dropped NZAP, so if this guy plays well, it's obviously that I gotta pick it up. So, you know, clearly I maybe made a mistake if this game goes in the favor of Regulus, as we do see PACEMAKER playing through ramp, as most people do, and we see a little bit more of a spread out setup here from Regulus. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for them. They do end up trading on the right side, though, and now here comes the Brush coming in, trying to make an aggressive play, but is unable to do so. Game Chop now painting the middle, no zones, this is Clam Blitz, trying to find some paint for his team, trying to make them push in. Are they going to be able to do so? I don't think so, but here comes the flank, a huge flank, some might say, from the side of Regulus, and they are able to find 2. Are they going to be able to get some clams now? The big question is can they manage the clam economy? Can they use that Excel spreadsheet to make sure they're not overspending? Don't use rocket money, folks. Let's see if they're able to do so. There's still a fight in mid, but unfortunately 2 go down on the side of Regulus. Now they have a Kraken. They have some opportunity here of their own to make some clams, and their own to make maybe a power clam if they can't do so. 4 clams on the side of them. They have 5. They just need to find 2 more to make a power clam. But right now, I don't think they're going to be able to get the push. The Ink Brush pushes them back. And all in all, just a stalemate for the start of the game.
I believe is because PACEMAKER, we are currently waiting on the clam economy to start rolling in. Unfortunately, there are just not a lot of clam spawns currently around the map. Teams are currently just waiting for those clams to spawn. We see a nasty direct from the blast. Wanted to comment on that. So you see PACEMAKER coming in, getting that immediate first push, trying to get some clams in. They do have a good number of clams and are going to be able to wait out in order to get more clams for their push. Currently just having to go back and get some clams, going down to 41 points as we see Regulus finally being able to stop PACEMAKER in their tracks. I do not know how to pronounce that name. The S-Blast coming in here in order to just back up and being able to stop Regulus from being able to push in further.
I got you, cameraman. Can we get on the S-Blast real quick when they respawn? When they respawn. When they respawn, cameraman. Okay. Stuve. Stuve is their name. All right, Stuve is the name of the S-Blast there. Don't worry, I got you, Joe Kara. Don't worry. Dab me up, Joe Kara. I got you. But as we see now, we're trying to find some more clams for the side of PACEMAKER. It is a stalemate right now in mid, trying to find a way back in. Will they be able to do so? The strikes go down. Here is their opportunity to make something happen. They do have 13 clams collectively. They do just need to make a power clam and get together with them. Unfortunately, the S-Blast is unable to find a kill right behind the pillow, as now we see Regulus, a counter push of sorts happening. They do have 9 clams. They just need to get them together to make a power clam. Unfortunately, the stamp doesn't find anybody, and 2 clams go away. Now they have to back up, and they have to regroup. Is Lily going to stay alive here? They're eking closer to killing them, and unfortunately, they do. Another one goes down to the left side, and all of a sudden, what seemed like a surefire push for Regulus is no longer there. 2 go down on top of mid, but they are going to have to wait for reinforcements and for clams.
Yeah, PACEMAKER currently still just waiting. We see the stamp come out, not able to find a pick, as we see Sean coming in here with the flank, currently holding out, is able to find one pick on the pen, able to find a second pick onto the Brella. And Regulus just needs some clams here. Very, very convenient clam spawns right over there, as they just need 3. They do have enough to form that clam, and are able to get that in. However, they just don't really have a whole lot of clams. Ends up jumping in with the pity, is able to get it in, but with 60 points, a minute remaining in the game, Regulus still needs to be able to get that lead here if they want to be able to win.
Yeah, and if I'm PACEMAKER here, I realize I got the game in my hand right now. I have a pity clam. I have ways to win this game. Are they going to now use them in order to win the game, as we do see one go down on the flank for Regulus? Here is the time to start pushing, and I think that's what the Sorella is thinking. They're going to probably start to pop their missiles soon. They're just waiting for an opening right now. They see, I don't know if they saw that. They're inking up closer as the ink brush, but gets shut down immediately, and there we go. There go the strikes. The one go down, and they immediately start throwing them. Now here comes the push, the pressure from PACEMAKER. Their hearts are beating fast. The PACEMAKER is working overtime, but unfortunately, someone goes down. It is the pencil player, and now an opening for Regulus has been created. One goes down from the side of PACEMAKER. There goes 2, 1 left, and it's just the Octo Brush. They are able to get 1. They need to hold their ground here. Oh my god, where the hell did the heavy come from? Excuse me, I might be blind. They are able to get 1 on the flank. All of a sudden, what seemed like a simple play from the side of Regulus is no longer there. Did they win? I'm sorry, we weren't on the clams. Yeah, I was about to say. They did not get the score in time, and PACEMAKER takes the game, takes the set, and unfortunately, they're going to move on to, I think this is a Hammerhead game, right? Hammerhead, or is this a Great White? They're going on the Great White, I believe, right? Can I get a fact check on that?
Yeah. Let me check. Hang on a minute.
Can someone ask?
Oh, they're going to Mako. They're going to Mako bracket.
That was for Mako? That's insane. That's crazy. This must be a group from hell. Oh my god. This must be the group from hell if that's the Mako game. Jesus.
We unfortunately do not get to see Zones Mahi, but we did. One thing I did want to point out from that game was the very solid effort by the heavy for Regulus trying to get to the clam spawns in order to make that power in order to continue. They probably would have at least had another push, but unfortunately we're just not able to get there in time. And well, I think now we're just currently waiting on we're waiting on some games here and there before we get back into Great White.
I just want to say one thing, all right? While I've been commentating this whole time, I got my Pistons on my phone. I just want to say one thing. I saw y'all on the timeline saying we were not going to win today. It's 55-81. It's 55-81. Who's talking now? You said y'all said we were frauds. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, you know? That's all I'm going to say, all right? All right, I need to put that out there, right? Because I was on my phone on Blue Sky. Everyone said we were done. I'm just curious to see where they are now, you know? I'm just curious. I had to get that out there. I'm sorry, Joker. I know you don't like sports, but I had to get that out there.
I like sports. It's just I pay a lot more attention to college sports.
Wait. Hold on. Hoops? Football? What's the...
Football, definitely.
Well, who's your team? Come on, who's your team?
I gotta go with my ghosts of Tar Heels. I know we're not good.
Oh my!
I know we're not good.
Lord. That's tough. That's tough, man. Like, how do you wake up in the morning knowing you're a Tar Heels fan? Hey, Belichick's saving y'all though. Belichick's saving y'all.
I lament 2012. 2012.
Really, it's been that long?
It's been that long since we were actually
Christ, bro. Hey, but Belichick got y'all. Aren't you guys getting like a top 10 class? Let me get a fact check. Let me fact check myself on that real quick. Don't you guys have a top 10 class coming in?
I'm not too familiar. I've been too busy with college in order to pay attention to college.
Well, I got you. I got you. Don't worry. Here, team rankings. Whoa. Never mind. It was not that good. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Wait, this is 2027. 2026 is what I want. That's this year, right?
Yes.
Oh, 17. Oh, that's not bad. Like, that's pretty solid. How many? Okay, how many 5 stars? Okay, 9 4 stars. How is that in the ACC? I think that's the best class. That's ACC. That's right. 8. Yeah, ACC. How's that compared to everybody in your? That's the second best class in your conference. Okay. I'm just saying, maybe it gets better. Maybe Belichick and his very young girlfriend are going to do things that I will not make a comment on.
All right, but
y'all head coach is wild. Y'all head coach.
Before we get into a Great White here, we are still waiting on one more game. I think we have an opportunity to take a short break here, and then give our viewers here the opportunity to grab a snack, grab a drink, just grab anything that you want in order to prepare yourself for the Great White bracket coming up here.
Sounds good, man. All right. all I gotta say when we tune in here, Cade Cunningham, 20 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. Tobias Harris has got 12 on 6 of 11 shooting, 8 rebounds. Everyone said we sucked. Everybody said we sucked. Yo, where are your guys at? I saw everybody. Everyone said we were done. The Pistons are back. And yo, who else is back? We are for SOS 224 as we're getting into the last game that me and Joker are going to be casting, but certainly not the last game of the tournament. It's the first round of Great White here. We're seeing Hay against Xiphas. Joker, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, we're getting in here into this first game, round 1 of Great White, and we have the stage that never dies. It's been here since it was first introduced, and it will be here until it isn't in Splatoon 4, unless it is in Splatoon 4. Mako Mart Splat Zones.
And as you can see, Hay going with an interesting strategy here, playing with 3 people instead of 4. Curious to see if that's gonna work out for them. Xiphas, it's the roster you all know pretty well. I know Droid and I, we talk every now and then about my shorts and how funny I am, you know, because I'm a funny guy, obviously. But as we're getting into this matchup, that's all I can really add to the players, as we are gonna see the first map. Mako Mart Zones, excuse me, forget what I'm going to say. We're going to get right to it. Let's take a look at these comps, see what we got. Slim Shady, hello?
Hi, that is in fact my name, as we see the Custom Blaster and Zimmy Splatling on the side of Hay, as we see the E-Leader, Dynamo Roller, and the Crab Dread on the side of Xiphas.
Exactly. Some interesting weapon picks. Don't really see that Crab Dread too often. It does work when it's played from what I've seen, but curious to see how these guys make it work, as we do see the zone going in the side of Hay's favor first, and that Dread unfortunately meeting its an untimely end at the start. All of a sudden, Hay is in the driver's seat. Very quick aggression as 2 will go down consistently on the side of Xiphas. Now we see the Dynamo trying to find a way in, but unfortunately gets shut down. Everybody is going to plat, and everyone's getting AoE spam. But look at this, a very big flank from DPSJ here. Gets 1 in the alleyway. Can they find more? They are going to have to turn around here. They are waiting for their team to catch up, and they do. That Crab going down, pushing them back. The space is being created for Xiphas. It's almost a now or never situation for them. Unfortunately, Jay gets shut down, and the Blaster taking an opportune angle on the alleyway. Are they going to find more? I don't think so. And I think, Jokera, this is going to be wrapped up.
Yeah, Hay has just been holding up, but hold on a minute. Xiphas does in fact get some zones here, or does in fact get a neutralized here. As we see the Crab coming in, is able to put a penalty. They may have only gotten 2 points, but putting a 66-point penalty on the side of Hay, as we see Jay still up with the ink brush, using the quick movement, quick pace of the weapon in order to move around and be able to get some pigs here. As we see another Crab, it felt like we just saw a Crab coming out from Xiphas, as Xiphas is already looking to try and take some points for themselves.
Exactly, but it's not about the size of the push, it's about the impact. That's what I tell myself late at night. Unfortunately, Xiphas is unable to hold the push for that long, and subsequently he's only got 80 points at the board, but Jay is able to get 1, and they trade somebody on the stack, and all of a sudden they're 2 down. Hey, now it's DPS and Xiphas, excuse me, trying to find a way to chip on the plat, just like Hay was doing earlier, but they have to back up. They are able to get 1, though. Not quite sure how they got that kill. Must have been a mine. A little bit of a Bluetooth kill, if you will, as the Crab is now pressuring the plat, but unfortunately has to walk back. It's a 1 HP situation down there, but the ink brush does go down, and everyone's starting to walk back. Here comes the bubble. The paint, they're getting paint on the zone, and just like that, just when we thought Xiphas was going to have a longer push, Hay comes back and says, "Hey, not so fast."
They did, in fact, say that, as we see Xiphas trying to find a way to get some points back in. A direct coming in from the Blaster, looking to try and use that splashdown. Is able to. Droid did not go down to the splashdown. They went down to something else that I could not see. As we see 2 weapons E-Man and Jay coming in to surround that pencil, being able to take down the Zimmy, using that bubble to survive as long as they can, keep that zone neutralized. Another crab coming out on the side of Xiphas, looking to take that zone back again. There is a flank. There's a flank behind them. They are able to live through it. Currently still just looking to try and take the zone. Again, Droid going down. Unfortunately, Hey coming in and just getting as many picks as they can to put the zone back in their favor. Xiphas really needs to try and get a larger hold here if they want to try and take the lead.
Exactly. You know, every time they go in. But hey, again, like I said, not about the size of the push. It's about the wave of the ocean, as we do see Xiphas trying to find a way back in. I don't know if Droid knows about this left side flank. They do now, and immediately shuts it down. All of a sudden, that left side is completely open, and they exploit it for all the riches they could get. It is a complete zone takeover, but not so fast. Hey says, hey, maybe Merc's going to still be in this, as we do see them pushing back on the side of the left side, and Xiphas, two of them go down. Excuse me, one of them does go down to the midi. The midi is going to try to find one more on the left side against the 52. Oh, excuse me, the 52 is on their team. I am blind. I am sorry, audience, as they do get the zone, and they are trying to get what is the brush, the brush, and they do end up trading them out, and that is 10 seconds, and that is 10 left on the clock for Hey.
Yeah, 10 left on the clock. Hey, currently the flank on the custom blaster coming in, flanking around again. Inkbrush going down. We see E-Man coming in, getting one pick, is looking to try and take the pencil down. They're gonna have, Xiphas does have one final push here, possibly going to push this game into overtime, unless Hey can say hey and push back in to counteract the zone here. If we see, you see the whale coming in online, another bubble coming in. Xiphas needs to be able to shut down this this push here. So if they get through that penalty, taking out the Gal, getting the paint down, they need to be able to keep this zone. Okay, well, that was very quickly disproven.
And they said, hey, that's our zone. Oh, yeah. My Lord. Well, that's going to be the map, as they do say. I will say one thing, we've been talking about their name a lot. Their name is Hey. It does kind of muddle into our comms a little bit here. I will say one thing, all right? Splatoon pickup names, come on. You can think of something better. Hey? Really? You know what I mean? Joe Kara gets me. Joe Kara agrees. They don't have to say it. They agree.
You know what? Sure, we'll go with that, I guess. I don't know. But again, hey. They were able to hold that zone pretty effectively. We're able to take it, and again, just be able to kind of get a pretty good, solid lead here. And Xiphas, we're able to try and we're able to push back in at opportunities. And as we're getting into this second game here, as a great friend of mine once said, you gotta be able to not only be able to make a push, but it's not about the size of the push. It's about what you do with the push.
For all my small pushers out there, don't worry. There are a lot of us in the shadows. You might not know it, but we're all out here, as we do see the weapon changes coming through, but not too much of a change from Hey. They did win the first game, so not expecting to see too much different, as we do see the leader on the side of Xiphas come out. Curious to see how that changes the game.
They had the leader for game one. In fact, I think the only weapon change we see here is the 96 Deco, adding a lot of aggression onto the side of Hey. Hey immediately, I know a crab almost beat me. How fast did they get that crab? Wait, hold on. Okay, well, getting back to the game is very, very neutral right now. We see the bubble coming in from the side of Hey. The mini Splatling not able to find anything before the bubble goes down. Xiphas does have a cooler, is able to find two picks, already looking to take a push here, as we see the Inkbrush get the aura, using the whale. So we see the leader using the tower, riding the tower, trying to get to that first checkpoint, is looking to take it down. This is a very key checkpoint on the map to be able to take down, especially this early into the game.
Yeah, exactly. A very good first push on the side of Xiphas. getting over their small push syndrome, some might say, and able to get a huge push. But unfortunately, Hey says hey, and Hey will take the back as they are looking to take some space in middle. The Kraken, is immediately canceled though on the 96. They're 2 down still. Are they going to have the leverage to keep going? I don't know. As we see Jose here on the leader, going to try to find a pick if they can, but unfortunately is unable to do so. The man, wow, what a game, huh?
Yeah, Xiphas is already taking a very solid early lead here. This is a lot different compared to that first game where we saw Hey take a very early lead, but now Xiphas he's having to back up. They may have pushed up a little bit too far, a little bit too early. As Hey is looking to push in here, we see the Kraken coming out. Is able to take out one, looking to try and find another onto that lead leader. Almost immediately having to back out because of running out of time. But now it's Hay's turn in order to be able to move up and push in first and be able to get some points here.
Yeah, they're going to try to take a push here. They're going to try to find a way to kind of get back in this game. They're only 30 points, they're less than 30 points away. So potential to get in here, as unfortunately the Rays do end up killing the push off, but a double on the left side here from the Blaster says maybe they have more of a shot here. Now they have a chance to take the lead. Here comes a Brush trying to find a way to push them off tower, but they're unable to do so. That bubble is putting in God's work, but unfortunately they're unable to get them all. But the Hay says, hey, maybe we're still in this game. Maybe we're going to get the lead, and maybe we're going to take the game here. They're in prime position to take this game.
I don't know what happened there. I think that was a double on... I think it was E-Man getting a double with the Dread into immediately getting a wipeout onto Xiphas as Hey currently now has the lead, looking to try and push up further. They do not have the bubble currently, but are working towards it. Now they do have it, or could use it here to try and close out this game. Going to be popping that bubble in order to move it up and be able to break down the checkpoint. Droid looking to come in and try and get some picks, not able to find anything, as Hey is looking to close out this game almost immediately, looking to take some points here. The Cal coming in with the Kraken, move up very fast. The Brush not able to find anything, as Hey will take the set 2-0.
Well, as Bruno Mars once said, hey. Hey, I don't know if anyone knows that song. Come on, someone's got to know that song in the chat. I'm sure someone does, but a very convincing win right there from the side of Hey, and they're going to be moving on to further into Great White, as that is how tournaments work. And if you do win your game, you do go further in the bracket. So, kind of a very impressive performance to the side of Hey. Very interesting to see. You know, Xiphas did put up a good fight, but unfortunately, just a little bit too late at the end there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little unfortunate on the side of Xiphas, especially having taken such an early lead.
Chuds. What a game.
Especially having taken up a very early lead in the game, but Hey, Hey being able to come in and take it back and be able to get that knockout in order to close out the set here.
Exactly, and unfortunately, with that, our time together comes to an end. Joe Cara, I'm actually crying right now. Like I'm just so sad we're not going to commentate more.
Well, maybe we could commentate in the future. We could do other. You never
want to commentate with me. You're in the staff chat. You're like, Yoshi got dumb, stupid, and I think to myself, and I go, dumb, stupid. You know, this is the dark side of Joe Cara. Video coming up soon. The side of Joe Cara they don't let you see.
You know what? Sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Whatever.
They were very mean to me at Anarchy Nova too.
What? Okay, we played double brush against you one time, and that was it.
I never said anything mean to you. Nothing.
You didn't know who I was at the start. But
Where can they
yeah,
find you, Joe Kara?
you can find me on Blue Sky at superiorkara.bsky.social.
Only reason this cast is funny, all right? You can't do that. You can't do me like that.
But anyway, Yoshi God, where can where can the people find you?
What do you mean? Sure, dude. Play the clip. Play the SOS 200 clip. Play the SOS 200 clip. You can find me at Yoshi God Blue Sky at Yoshi God SBL on Blue Sky. I don't post there really right much because I'm kind of busy with school, and I also I gotta work through some personal. I'll be back. If any of the spluz want to hit me up, Yoshi God Discord. Please hit me up. Listen, all right? I got 288 followers on Blue Sky. Kind of a flex. I've talked to Pop Gun before. Kind of a flex. I'm just saying. I'm kind of the whole pack. Get me out of here, bro. Get me out of here.
We are going to be taking a short break here, but don't go anywhere. We have our next commentators coming up. I believe it is Rocket and Milotic. You'll have to look forward to for your great white commentators for the rest of the tournament.
You don't have to be alone. And after a quick break, we are back for the continuation of Swimmer Sync 224. My name is Rock, and joining me, my Lotic here for the continuation of this Great White bracket. We're now looking at Love Blur versus Gaia in this round 2 here. Now, moving down the teams, taking a look at what we have in store for us. Starting off on Splat Zones, Barnacle, and Dime. A little bit of context from these teams. Love Blur, a pickup, very, very familiar names. You can read them there on that left side. I'm sure they need no introduction, but Gaia themselves, a very strong established teams in themselves. I believe in this recent Ludi Division season, they placed in Ludi Division 2.
Yay! I completely zoned out, but yes, I am pretty familiar with all of these players, especially Gaia. It's gonna be a good show. We love going to the Barnacle, the Barnacle of the Dimes. We love to see it. Definitely, I'm expecting a leader from ZenCon, but I just want to see. Will they pull out something I'm not expecting? Because we love off meta, especially me.
Yeah, I mean, Barnacle and Dime does present itself with a lot more of a sandbox playing field in terms of being able to kind of play around its more flat mid area. That's really going to be the strengths to some comps, and maybe how some things are going to get with that. You mentioned ZenCon being able to go on that E leader can pose an obstacle for what Love Blur may be potentially running. But it's a double-edged sword in that aspect where you get to play around with some maybe unusual weapons that you wouldn't normally see, but we'll have to wait for these teams to ready up and get to that point. But like mentioned, Gaia Division 2 team already well established in that point. Weren't able to make it to playoffs, just barely missing it, but still strong showing it nonetheless. So hey, we could be maybe planting the seeds of a little bit of an upset, but now looking at Love Blur in terms of what they bring, mentioned those players that need no introduction, but I'm going to introduce them anyways. Prosper, Cairo, Nova, Cool Ace, some very familiar names within the pickups that we see at the very top of SOSs.
Oh yeah, Cairo's that Tetra player. Yes. I do know the Cairo. And not to hate on Tetras. Not theirs. Theirs is good. I did have to play with a Tetra in X rank literally like 2 minutes ago that went 9-20. So hopefully they don't go 9-20. I don't think they will, but I believe in you, Cairo. Anyways, yeah, honestly, I'm just ready for some silly shenanigans. Let's kick off the second half strong. Hopefully it's gonna be a good, nice set.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Still players getting into that lobby, now doing some little bit more of deeper investigations into these teams. Love Blur, I guess the only unfamiliar name that some may not know too well is Nova. That is, I think actually they go by Brendan there, the more familiar thing. If you are in the CCA community, they do play on MTSU Skyfall, I believe a Division 1 team. Yes, Division 1 team in CCA, so maybe showing off some more skill here in regular play with being taken out from the shackles of college and being put into this high level type of environment. I believe they do play that support shooter role as well, so you really have a lot of paint going in between them and Cairo in terms of that quick moving shooters type of category.
Yes, we love having paint on the zones. Painting the zone is definitely the name of the game. As we finally get into that, past that NA moment. Splat Zones, Barnacle, Dime. Here we go. We see a Vanilla 96 coming out from Gaia, and a pretty standard comp from Love Blur.
Yeah, and jumping straight into it. Both sides electing for that pen. Not really a surprise there, but very aggressive from Love Blur, trying to live up to their name of being and playing like a Blur, just trying to see if they can get any sort of opening. But both sides getting that opening cooler now. Fights are sure to happen. First pick will go into the favor of Love Blur, but immediately halted back by Love Blur, actually continuing to go moving in with that Luna, 3 players down, and an early win here. Now Prosper setting up on that stack side.
Yes, Love Blur does have that bubble at the ready in case of a push from Gaia. Crafting coming out from top right, trying to get as much chip damage as they can. They are able to contain their stack again. Tetras end up going down, the vacuum coming out as well. Another pick going down on Love Blur. This is going to be Gaia's time to recap the zone. As they do, they still have that stamp at the ready, going for the full aggression here. Isn't quite able to close it out, but they did have Cooler. It is just a bloodbath.
Yeah, neither side really been able to get to that stronghold that you're really looking for. You have Devade on this bottom side on those dualies. You do have Cooler up, so they will try to look for this aggressive fight on that left side against Cairo. Cairo will get the better of them, though. They do just try to stay alive. Crab in a bit of an awkward situation as well still from Devade, trying to see if they can stall out a little bit, but eventually hunted down by the rest of Love Blur, as now they sit yet again very comfortably in that zone. Not a lot of penalty points to really have to worry about as they chip through this, and with a little bit of a staggered situation on the side of Gaia, they're just trying to recollect, trying to find anything. Maybe the stamp will find something. No, they get taken out themselves.
Yeah, I think there was a shark from Cairo there underneath the stag, which ended up picking the wiper. But 96 going down to, I think, was a bomb. The Luna's playing really aggro here underneath the ledge. They have the aura. They're going in for it. They get a nice trade out. 15-6 left on the board. Gaia's going to have to make this last-ditch effort to try to get onto the zone. But they have Cairo has the slider ready to stall. They get it out, but they aren't able to make it to zone in time. Game 1 going to Love Blur.
Yeah, and this is the aggressive comp that really can tear down a team if you're not really expecting it at the beginning. All it really took was one opportunity or just a couple of players to just be recognizing that left side that was the weak point for Gaia at the short moment. And then you had everyone pretty much funneling in. I mean, with Kool-Ace and you have Nova being that Luna Blaster and Junior respectively, they really work off each other really well. The main weakness of that, of course, is going to be the lack of range split between the two, but it doesn't matter if they're already in your face. It doesn't matter if they're already on that plat area, and that's exactly where they ran up to immediately and just wasn't able to come back was Gaia from that, as they just continuously got locked out, maybe get a pick here and there to maybe eventually get back into the zone, but Love Blur always punching right back to prevent them from doing anything. So they really just have to play around what Love Blur is putting down, really try to be a little bit more patient in terms of taking these fights and always just making sure they're in arm's reach of each other to get that trade.
I totally agree there. Definitely with the playing patient part, because if you really got clear against their Love Blur's comp, you really got to clear out the whole area to make sure there's no one hiding in between a crevice, to make sure it's really safe before we move forward, as we saw that little shark underneath the snipe last game. But we're getting into Clan Blitz now. Similar map structure. We see a little bit of a comp change coming out from Gaia. Same comp from Love Blur. We see the 96 Deco this time.
And I do like the change to the decav to potentially punish those closer range weapons that you have Love Blur running. That bubble also very nice for sustaining continuous pushes, and you already see it getting that value on that left side, taking out Kool-Ace. So hey, we might be seeing something cooking here if Gaia continue up their strengths, but Nova on that Junior still will have that bubble value no longer, as they are taken out pretty early within this fight. But this is what we usually expect from these high-level players, just trying to feel each other out in this mid to see who can get that advantage, but neither side really getting one until I say that the Love Blur finds 3 on that right side. Always gotta prove me wrong, huh?
Yep, they are. Love Blur already has that power clan at the ready to get the score going. They're going to be cooler on the field in a minute. Pencil's fighting out. Reslayer coming out, but the Pen does end up losing that one. Decap punishing Kool-Ace. It seems that the push is now unable to continue as Gaia regains control of mid, getting their own push. They do have a Kraken at the ready, but the Hammer comes out trying to get the Pen, and they succeed. The Luna is playing full aggro here, trying to take control of this top mid.
I like that patience, though, that we were talking about that Gaia lacked in that first game. Now, though, being able to halt Love Blur, at least for the moment here, still Love Blur knocking at the doorstep. They do have that strong control over mid, but with that control over mid, you have Gaia with the opportunity to paint over this ink that you have and really get your specials up and running. You have Mimi on this top mid with that decav, just trying to see if they can poke away and just secure that mid area. But finally, Gaia have worked their way into mid the first time they've done so since opening, and with Mimi still taking names, still taking players out with that ball as well, they look to try to see if they can get the first score on the board, as we are still scoreless 2 minutes in.
But Tetra putting a nice pressure on to Sencon on that top mid, making a safe jump out as well. Kind of going all in with the Cooler 2 going down on the side of Love Blur. Gaia has 2 power cuts, and this is now the time to make a push. Bubble goes up, but the Junior goes down. It's really just a fight to see who can get the first advantage here. 96 getting a nice chip on that pick on the top mid, and they have the crack. That's 2 for this 96. They have the power plants, they have the specials. Now it's the time to make the push. Kraken's going in. They're going to go underneath the basket. Isn't quite able to find one yet, but they are able to get the score. Kraken putting pressure. They are able to hold on Dome for just a minute. Sencon getting a nice tap kill, getting the second power plant, getting it to 60 with some change. Two going down. The Crab being forced to retreat, as that's a pretty strong opening push from Gaia.
Yeah, that is absolutely what you want from Gaia there. And still, forcing a 3 down, that means they still hold on to mid here against Loveblur. So, yet again, knocking at that doorstep. You already have Mimi trying to dare the threaten there, but they do go down, and that ball is now lost for Gaia. Maybe a little bit too fast, as Loveblur now making do with that mistake. They will take that any day of the week, now pushing away at these players remaining in Gaia, but still, Loveblur might have gotten a little too fast themselves as they go 3 down. Still, the seesaw game is being played. Hammer going out, taking out the Devade. Can it find another? No, not quite, but Kool-Aid's trying to see if they can get anything on the board, and they do open things up for Loveblur, but there's not much follow-up here as the players, everyone else still stuck in mid, and Gaia sit pretty comfortably now that they have that penalty up and that pity claim to boot as well. So minute 30, still plenty of time for Loveblur to knock things back, but still, it is Gaia's game to lose.
Let's see here. We have the 96 holding the ground with their Kraken at hand. No power plant fight for Loveblur, but they are able to hold most of top mid. We do see another power plant for Gaia, though, as the Tetras go down pretty early. The bubble, the junior does have the bubbles, but the 96 goes down. Oh, the Decap's trying to get a jump kill, but they aren't able to finish it up, getting stuck in top mid. Luna finishing it off. Minute left on the board. 2 specials up for Loveblur, and they have 2 down on Gaia. Bubble going up in their spawn, but they just don't seem to have a clam at the moment. But another one goes down. It's just the Decap left alive as Loveblur gets a strong hold here. Could get the lead swap.
And they do just that. All it took was one push, and they're back in business. Cooler as well with the Reef Slider online. Prosper sitting very nicely on this dome area. Now feels very threatened, and they get taken out, but the follow-up clam is there to make that hurt even more for Gaia. So now 20 seconds left. What looks like a stronghold for Gaia has now turned into a desperate situation. You will still have that decap up, still causing damage. Mimi's still trying to see if they can find anything for Gaia to move forward, but you do have the flank from Kool-Aid's finding one and still existing. Now Devade trying to see if they can get anything going, but that ball does fall. Mimi trying to see if they can grab it, but they go down as well. That is a delayed wipe, and with that delayed wipe, you now have Loveblur sitting very comfortably to move in. Maybe just one more clam here to maybe end things, but playing with house money, Loveblur takes the set 2-0 off of a monstrous comeback.
Yeah, they were just able to basically do what they did the first game, but like 10 times better. And they were just able to get that hold and be able to get that lead. But then once you got the lead, you could just sit comfortably. All you have to do is stay up, and that's what they were able to do.
I mean, yeah, and we saw a lot of that. We keep emphasizing it a lot, Milotic, with that patience, the patience that Gaia didn't have at the beginning, or any parts really of game 1. But in game 2, we saw it appear a lot, especially with that initial disadvantage that they had against Loveblur. Loveblur weren't able to get anything off of that 3-down situation because Gaia were able to hold really nicely in their own choke point on that dome area, get the necessary kills, and then shove Loveblur right back. And they were the ones to get that initial score on the board. They made it down to a very comfortable 50 score, but eventually something had to give, and Loveblur kept knocking and knocking and knocking, and then one mistake from Gaia's patience, just going in a little bit too fast, led to their defense crumbling. And that's exactly what a team as experienced as Loveblur does. These players as experienced as they are, they do this. They are able to kind of get into these moments. So very unfortunate from Gaia there just to not really be able to hold up, but that says more about the strengths to the players of Loveblur more than anything.
Exactly. I'm just happy that we were able to see some adaptations made from Gaia's gameplay to see that they can stand against Loveblur and they can make it a close set. But we're moving into semifinals now. We see SOS Villains versus Attention, Love New Jeans, and then Loveblur, of course, facing off against Machine Love. But we will be getting into that briefly, so don't go anywhere. And we are back to the amazing SOS. I forgot the number. We're seeing SOS Villains, I think our reigning champions from last week, correct me if I'm wrong, versus Attention. Very familiar with some people on the team on SOS Villains, a notable player being Sky, bestie over there. And on Attention, gotta call out TM Star for that Nasty Junior. So we might be seeing similar weapons, but will the playstyles be the same? I don't know. Ship-shaped Cargo Co. It's really anyone's game from there. What do you know about it, Rocket?
Yeah, we're back in best of 5 territory as well, so zone sandwich as usual in terms of sets, but now a longer potential set here for teams to really play with, get to know each other. And you mentioned before that SOS Villains are our reigning champions. Yes, they did win SOS 223, pretty well done from them, and this is the recurring same roster, Jay-Z, Bonk, Sky, and Ryu. So a lot of plus talents built in there. Attention not to be outdone, Division 1 talent across the board as well. I believe 2 of their players, Hyen and TM, are part of Faded Dream. Yes, they are. So a little bit of familiarity there, but Carlos and Spleef picking up that other 2 there for that pickup. Let's see how their teamwork will do against that reigning champions like we mentioned. Ship-shaped Cargo, though, back to what you were saying. Very, very classic map for zones in particular, really highlighted by those heights on either flanks.
I do agree. Both teams do have to be careful about that fast left drop, but if they're able to keep that in mind before pushing, we should see some strong offensive gameplay. The off-topic rant, not really, but I kind of wish that Ship Shape kept more of its turf war layouts, or at least tower control to give some roots to the side. That's just a side gripe of mine. But anyway, zones is pretty snowball heavy, as we've seen in the past. So it's gonna be if Sky's leader, I assume they play leader, probably on pen, who knows. But if that backline can get on top mid, they can really just hold down that flat. It's gonna make it 10 times harder for the other team to get re-entry. But I'm expecting a pretty even fight. I have confidence in both teams. I think it's going to be really entertaining. It's just going to see who's going to be able to be more dominant in the end.
Yeah, and we know Ryu from Usagi Fan Club as well being able to support Bonk. Bonk, of course, very familiar name to me, and like their name suggests, they're bonking people with whatever roller they're going to be bringing out, so that's another obstacle that definitely Attention needs to, pay attention to, I guess, for lack of better words. So we'll just have to wait and see how these teams get down to the nitty-gritty here. It's just all going to come down to execution, really, at this level. Taking a look at comms, running an E-leader heavy. We have seen some words being said about running a heavy with a further backline, and we're seeing it here with very long-range weapons coming out from SOS Villains on the side of Attention that Junior is brought out.
Yes, we see Spleef here on the top left, trying to get a crit cross, isn't able to. One drop, Junior drop out on the left, is able to get punished. This Bonk is just able to clear that top before falling down. Playing a very sneaky game against Carlos here. 2 go down on SOS Villains, though, but they are able to maintain this control. Another one dropped, but they don't see Bonk there sitting underneath, getting punished for that as well. Spleef is able to make that cross to top left, and then now it is Attention's time to hold.
Yeah, it's a very hard comp to retake whiff if you're on the side of SOS Villains, Bonk really being the only player that can get up close and personal, but all it takes is being able to hold like they have just gone right here to prove to be potentially dangerous. Sky looking for a pick on this E-leader, not able to quite find it here. A quick lead, though, will be taken by SOS Villains. A hard comp to retake whiff, but a strong one to hold. Mystic now trying to cause some havoc on that left side. Meister, excuse me, as Bonk is able to snuff them out pretty nicely there. Bonk just being able to respond to everything on that V-roller, as well as Sky still trying to hold this right side. Kraken is available, but finding it really difficult to push into these long-range weapons.
Yes, we see a small stagger coming out from it and giving SOS Villains all the control they need to rebuild their own specials. The Bonk going down, getting too far in, as we see Ryu here holding down the top left. Kraken coming out, trying to push these people out of the pit, getting one, going after another. Everyone seems to be in this pit. Isn't quite able to find another one. The bubble is going pop. The Attention needs to get attention on that zone. The timer is going to tick And that is game 1 going to SOS Villain.
And I mean, it played out exactly as you kind of would expect from a comp that SOS Villains is running. Struggle a little bit on opening because of a little bit lack of speed. You were able to still poke away with your range, and the retake was a little bit bumpy, but then afterwards, the second you get zoned, I mean, good luck getting back in if you're attention, because those weapons are super, super strong at being able to, like I mentioned, space away and just straight up to delete you. I mean, Heavy Splatling can basically just be the paint support by itself, painting for and over the E leader and bonk on that roller. The roller, of course, synergizing really well with these 3 range weapons because, well, you can play off of that little bit more of scaredness with that strength that bonk really brings out on the roller itself, and can set up really nicely in that bubble. So something that attention needs to find its answers to, as you do have the speed advantage for them, but that speed advantage can only get you so far if you're just running into rollers.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot during. They were kind of just disregarding Bonk until he was already in their face. They do have a Nautilus, so maybe they can make more use of that point sensor that they have. But really, if you can keep Bonk in check, because Bonk's is SOS Villain's main aggro, fought with 96 and Heavy leader. If they can, because they're supporting their roller to the max. If they can limit the roller, then SOS Villain's offense kind of falls. So I don't know what adjustments they need to make on their end, but just something to keep in mind for the future. But we are going to Tower Control Haggle. Really great for leader, really great for Heavy, really good for bubble. So the odds are very much in SOS Villain's favor. But let's see if they have any changes for us.
It does put them in a little bit of an awkward situation sometimes when pushing, because, like mentioning, sometimes they're able to hold really nicely, but pushing isn't exactly the best. You have Carla switching over and mirroring that Heavy Splatling themselves. So, I mean, hey, fighting fire with fire, right? I mean, you see one team running a Charger Heavy, the other one running a Pen Heavy. So this is, I guess, the new meta nowadays, as you have the Heavy Splatling acting as a midline. With Carla's getting one already onto Jay Easy, this pick might be proving to be that change that is very much needed, as Attention is able to touch that tower, but not quite able to find much more, as Bonk will find the trade on to that Junior as well. Still back at a standstill in mid.
Yeah, the whale. Oh, we're getting there. Oh, he missed. One more time. Okay, you made it this time. So the whales did come out as High is trying to take this tower, isn't quite able to get a sturdy foothold to going down on Attention, forcing the retreat as SOS Villains makes their way out of spawn. And it's just another standstill. It's just feeling each other out, seeing who can get the first advantage. Sky does have this Kraken at the ready, isn't quite able to find that pick at first of all, but a minute's gone. They still have time, plenty of time. It's only 94 at the moment.
Yeah, you find yourself now with these comps kind of mirrored in how they want to play around. I mean, you have the Gal being the real only aggressive weapon on the side of Attention now. And for SOS Villains, of course, it's still going to be Bonk. So it's really just trying to super juice your one Slayer weapon on either side, as we're having quite a big team fight happening on the right street. 3 players from both sides going there. Eventually, though, Attention reigns out supreme and is just left to that E-leader, forced to jump out. Now, finally, some more momentum within the tower, finally finding its way into that first checkpoint. A very nice snipe, though, from Sky will stall out Attention's push quite a little bit and actually prevent them from getting that checkpoint.
Indeed, the Wills are coming out. Xiphas holding all the pressure under this canopy, trying to limit Sky's pressure. The tower does end up resetting the mid, and Sploop does end up going down. SOS Villains is able to make it out of their switch. It seems to be a little bit of a stagger coming out from Attention. Getting forced back even further. So much paint is going down on the floor. The Kraken coming out and getting punished by Carlos, not seeming to care about the Wavebreaker bubble coming out on the right side. 2 down on the side of Attention. SOS Villains makes their first advance.
Yeah, halfway through the match, finally being able to move forward, but it's not a big lead that Attention has either. So with that Junior going down early, that is some frontline presence lost, and that is a quick checkpoint pop with J-Eazy on that tower with that vacuum as well. It's going to be a very easy checkpoint pop, trying to see if they can get this right side elbow area. This is the key point for this map for Hagglefish to really get on. You already have J-Eazy trying to see if they can get up there, trying to see if they can stall it out. Sky popping Kraken as well to cause some more of their havoc. But with 2 players down on the side of Attention, it does look like SOS Villains are continuing to ride that momentum, trying to move it forward. Now Spike's going down as well, with 2 yet again down, 2 minutes left within that match. Bonk trying to see if they can get a relocation here, but most importantly get that bubble up, as yet again another back as J-Eazy just riding the tower all the way to that 3rd checkpoint.
Yeah, it seems like the bubble does so much help SOS Villains get that checkpoint. Everyone's on tower. It is a party as SOS Villains is able to finish up that 2nd game with ease, I'd like to say. I mean, it was more, they had sustainability specials to hold them, move them along. It was really just whoever could ride the tower at that point, and they were able to finish it up. But yeah, that's 2 up in favor of SOS Villains, but there is still always a chance for that reverse sweep. What ended up happening? I kind of zoned out.
I mean, you saw a lot there. It pretty similarly mirrored in the first game in terms of how it kind of flowed. You had Attention maybe being able to get something on opening, and then all it took is SOS Villains to get a little bit of momentum, and they just rode it all the way to the end. When you have 3 specials like that, when you have Bubble, when you have Vac, when you have Kraken that are just able to just be those specials that you kind of can't deal with and pretty difficult to deal with regardless, yeah, it's kind of no wonder they're able to move smoothly through that tower area. I mean, Vac by itself is already hard to counter. Then you have Bonk just existing around that Vac, daring anybody to even attempt to push J-Eazy. And then once that Vac immediately disappears, you have the bubble there. So just again, chaining those specials really nicely is a really important skill that a lot of people overlook, but these top players definitely got it down there, and we saw why they basically faced no resistance from Attention. Not because Attention just wasn't able to get the picks per se, but simply because they weren't able to stop SOS Villains before they even got those win conditions online.
I agree. I feel like this change to the B heavy was in order to limit the roller's movement. But it's kind of hard to do that when the other team's running as much paint as they are. Curling Bomb does help the roller and flee, so they could just follow that. But it's clamless, and there's not one objective you can just sit around and follow throughout the map or stationary. We see the same comp coming out from SOS Villains, and we see the gold not coming out. Carlos is a jack of all trades here. Maybe the splashdown will finish it off.
I honestly think that actually SOS Villains can play this pretty similarly to how they did with the tower. Still, those 3 stalling specials, and already a snipe from Sky, really nicely done, finds its target. But I still think that they can very much cheese using their specials, Bonk's Bubble and J-Eazy's Vac, just being able to just stall as long as possible in front of that Clamblitz basket is something that Attention needs to realize now. I mean, it's fresh in their minds. That's exactly how SOS Villains was able to just completely deny any presence from Attention. So they need to be able to get these picks very, very quickly. And it does look like they're doing so just at the beginning as well. But it's usually when Attention finds that momentum is where the problems begin.
We see Bonk here on the left street trying to get inside the bubble, but gets called out, making a safe jump out to the Sky, holding the power clamp. Vacuum is out for the 2nd time. Oh, but unfortunately not able to save from the bomb. Trying to clear out that plat, isn't quite able to. It is kind of just a stalemate. They're just trying to see who can get the first pick. One making another jump out. You have to be careful holding the ball. The gold knot does go down. So at 2 going down now, SOS Villains could have a chance, but Spleef able to get behind the leader, forcing SOS Villains to look at them.
And here come the jumps as well. Ryu trying to see if they can get one in there. Found 1. 3 down on the side of Attention. So Here comes the pain, and just expected J-Easy there with the vacuum as well to be able to stall out even further. Are there any follow-up clamps though? It doesn't look like it, as although they were able to keep Splee from jumping in immediately, there wasn't any follow-up score. So a very much beatable score for Attention to get into, but not if Bonk says anything about it. Finding 2, almost the 3rd as well, and what looks like a potential retake attempt has just had SOS back in business. Sky does have that ball to hold on to as well, just waiting for the opportune moment to push in, but still there sniping, still causing some havoc for Attention, who have just been on the back foot a lot during this set.
Yeah, I'm just now realizing what specials Attention has. They are lacking a strong entry tool, since they're already at a disadvantage. 2 going down, but they do have Cooler. It seems like it's going to be another push on the aggression from SOS Villains, breaking through the penalty, but not seeming to have any follow-up, as J-Easy is going to end up retreating to try to save his vacuum. Isn't quite able to force the pop. Getting rushed. A nice snipe from Sky there, saving J-Easy essentially. Get a nice pick 2 going down. J-Easy is not to be messed with, as we can see the TM trying to jump in and get someone with that bomb. Bubble going up for sustainability, as they're trying their best to hold their elbow.
Yeah, another thing to be mentioned as well is the 2 frontline weapons from Attention, the Junior and the Gal, do not really fight well against a roller. It really heavily relies on just being just aware simply of that roller and just denying it its space to really work with. So something really hard to really deal with, especially since you have that vac that's just eating up all that paint, and Bonk clamping from underneath as well, yet again, still just completely denying space. That's what all these weapons on SOS Villains does so well. They deny space in their own unique ways and stacks on top of each other. It's really difficult to deal with that Kraken shield as well. 2 pity clams made its way into the basket, a couple more to follow. Bonk just trying to get the heck out of dodge, but still major damage still being caused here, as Attention for the past 2.5 minutes have yet to even get back into mid, as Bonks is still existing on this left side plat. Finding another as well. Can they keep going, as Bonk is just continuously being issued on this left side stack?
He will not die. I did just wanted to mention, I just realized that SOS Villain has those beacons too, which is another obstacle that Attention has to be aware of, because anyone can jump to them at any time. Bubble being popped here on their right side, trying to get some momentum going for Attention. Carlos able to get one off of that top right. They do have their splashdown, going to use it on the edge to try and clear. Is able to get ready, but whoa, I think Bonk got behind, opening that basket again, drawing Attention back to base. 30 seconds left. The 2 are down on SOS Villains. This could be the last-ditch effort that Attention needs to get some points on the board here before we get to overtime.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on the board, and finally Attention are back in the mid area, but the problems have not stopped quite yet. Bonk still in that left street. Vac is out. The clams are pretty plentiful with what Attention has. They have 3 balls in their possession. Carlos does have a splashdown to utilize to potentially get something, but that stack is still very much threatened here as the overtime reigns. Splashdown will be used. Carlos does go down. That is a second player down as well with the Junior, and just as quickly as Attention were able to get mid there, they just as quickly lost it, as a little bit of a squid peg as well there. SOS Villains put the final nail into the coffin for Attention. A 3-0 sweep. Moving on to finals very, very comfortably.
Yeah, Bonk just kind of went crazy there. He was just getting pick after pick, kind of catching everyone on Attention's radar off guard. Just a very impressive showing from SOS Villains. They're probably at the strongest I've seen them. So unfortunate for Attention, but they were able to put up a fair fight in the end, not to discredit them. They were doing what they could in the moment. But yeah, it seems like our grand finals are going to be between SOS Villains and Machine Love, 3-0ing Love Blur, who we've just seen. But that was a pretty fun set. The roller obviously put it in the work, but I feel like maybe just comp needed just a little bit more editing. They just had nothing to really aggression besides the whales, and the bubble can only do so much once you're already up in position. And then I had Cooler, and I low-key forgot the last special, Splashdown. I don't really know.
Yeah, but they did, like, to your point, they didn't really have the entry specials to really go in, and a lot of it was just beating your head against the brick wall, just kind of comp wise. It's really difficult to kind of, it's not impossible, but against a really practiced team like SOS Villains, who, reminder, in the previous SOS 223, they didn't drop a single game in a Great White Bracket on their way to their victory. They're pretty well practiced in these type of weapons, and you saw it there with the constant special usage to completely deny anything that was even attempted on them. But now we move to a very unique Great White Bracket here, Great White Finals, I should say. SOS Villains, like we just saw, taking care of business against Attention, but Machine Love on the other side taking business of who we saw previously in Love Blur. A 3-0 sweep against a strong team in their own right, introducing this team a little bit. Tufa, a +3 blaster, very familiar with them. They have been on the rise from formerly playing from Boom and Coral Convergence, and you have remnants of Honkai as well, and also very interestingly Sun Eater, who, if you remember previous SOS Villains swept them, so familiar foes, I would say.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I probably am, but doesn't Ivy Woomy and SS both play like chargers? Or am I crazy?
I believe Ivy Woomy does play. I thought they played dualies, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
Assist, I do imagine, is the back line, but
yeah,
I do believe Ivy Woomy will probably either be on dualies or that V blaster. But
so
I do think it is dualies though, because Tufa is a blaster player. So we are making predictions. It should be Pen, dualies, blaster, and then Nilla will fill out the rest, probably with a bucket or zap.
But you know what would be funny? Leader duel. Let me see the leader duel. Come on.
Leader duel would be, yeah.
Let's see it. I mean, it is Haggle, apparently. It is Haggle. That's an okay leader map. I'm just saying. But okay, so what we know about SOS Villains. They got the beacon, they got the Kraken, they got the bubble, they got all the suppression that plays out. They got the vacuum. And the Bach. They got the Bach. So I just want to see. I mean, because but going based on what we know of what weapons Machine Love plays, do they play better into roller is the question. Because the roller is putting in a lot right now.
Yeah, it really just heavily relies on, can you cut the support from Bonk and then deal with Bonk? Because think about it like this, like they're all of SOS Villains is funneling their support into really strengthening Bonk into basically a juggernaut. Whether you have the vac from J-Eazy, whether it be the paints and just the simply existence of Sky on that E-leader saying, hey, you better not threaten Bonk or I will just take you out. That's what we saw from that Nautilus move. Nautilus should fight really well into roller, just completely get denied there. Just the remnants of all of SOS Villains being able to emphasize Bonk's strength. You need to cut them out one by one, and then eventually you can get to Bonk, because it's almost like inversing what you typically expect from a comp in terms of, all right, your front lines will protect your back line and empower them. This is the complete opposite. You're empowering your front line, and you need to focus their backs.
Exactly. You know what I thought is just crazy? You said Nautilus. You know, like, they probably want to splash down inside the bubble.
Yes.
Anyway, that's probably a side thing. But I do agree with everything you just said. They have to cut out the back lines to get to the front lines, which is kind of weird. But I think it's totally possible. It's always anyone's game. Anyone could be anyone. It's fine. I just want to see what Machine Love has, because I don't think we've seen them today. If I'm mistaken,
I don't think we have. Yeah, and we've only seen one game dropped between either of these teams, so it's got to come to that point where one of these teams has lost more in the set than they have in the entire tournament so far. And we have a double clam blitz. Is that right?
What
is what I'm seeing? Yeah, double clam blitz in between that tower map. So these teams are going to be tested in their sustainability. And what do I think of when I think of sustainability? I think of bubble, I think of vac, and I think of that Kraken. So It's going to really come down to how can Machine Love answer what SOS Villains is putting down, because sustainability is really the name of the game in Splatoon, really being able to maintain your pushes. And Clamlet's no different with no Rainmaker, double clams.
Oh.
We'll have to wait and see.
Well, we needed a Rainmaker. It rounds everything out, even though no one likes playing it. You gotta have something you don't like.
See, I'm sure Machine Love probably is happy that we're not playing Rainmaker because, like I just mentioned, those 3 specials, Rainmaker,
Yeah.
could you imagine?
Yes, I can. I can, and I have seen it firsthand. It's not fun.
There's a reason why people chant F this game mode. I feel like they'd be chanting it for a very different reason here. Not because of the stalling, but because of kind of how easy the path is to move when you have those 3 specials. We saw SOS Villains really be able to do that pretty well. So that's definitely something that needs to be countered. I'm trying to think of some specials that might really get value. Maybe a Booyah Bomb, maybe a Strikes. Those specials that you kind of just say, hey, delete this entire area and really move forward with it. Because, of course, obviously J-Eazy can just immediately cancel it out if you're not careful with those specials. But usually you just need to be aware of where they are, and then if you put down those specials, you can really move in with that space that is created, and that space is something that Machine Love needs to focus on getting.
Indeed. But we're going to get into it right now. Watt Zone's Hagglefish, we are going to the market. We see a scoped leader this time coming up from Sky, giving him a little bit more against the other leader. I was right. Alrighty, and that is a respawn Punisher leader, so they do have to be a little bit more careful here. Same comp from SOS Villain otherwise. We see a Sea Blast coming out along with a Zap and the Wiper from Machine Love. So the guy getting a nice pick on the S's right there, and they're able to get the first cap with 2 going down on SOS Villains as they're going to be forced. Oh, never mind. They have vacuums, they're ready to sustain.
But not quite yet. I will warn the caution of Machine Love's 3 very close range weapons. Doesn't seem to really matter here on opening, as Sky's trying to get in with that Kraken. Can they find much out of it? It doesn't look like it, as they are punished. 2 players down on the side of SOS Villains, as you have Assist on this backside, still holding with that E-leader. Woomy now moving up this right. They do have Stamp here. Could prove to be very dangerous, and could be something that completely denies that sustainability. Taking out Bonk pretty early. No more aggression will be had from SOS Villains. This is their crux, being able to retake there with the follow-up hammer onto Sky. As we're really nicely found. The vacuum is finally used from J-Eazy, but will it matter as Woomy's there finding another? They are still going in, finally shut down by Bonk, but oh my goodness, the Wiper completely shutting things down here into this game. Machine Love just need to hold on for a little bit further. Bonk in with that roller, trying to see if they can paint over, but it may not be enough, as Machine Love coming on pretty strong here in a very convincing game 1.
Yeah, Woomy was just like, I'm done playing these games. And I think they got, what was that, triple? Because they got the Ultra Stamp kill. No, I think it was a delayed wipe. They got the Ultra Stamp kill behind the pillow. They threw it top right, and then they went up and got the 2 people in the back. So, I don't know how they got that pick behind the inflatable, because that's a wall. But Hammer does some mysterious things. But there wasn't, and especially in these last few seconds, it was just Bonk in that zone. Their supports have not arrived yet, which is kind of hard to paint over. It's just a roller. But that was a very strong showing from Machine Love. Hey, maybe they already know what to do. Maybe they already got it. Maybe,
yeah, and you're looking for those weapons that can deal with the sustainability comps that SOS Villains is. I mean, yeah, Wiper, I don't care if you're just going to take all of my ink. I'm just going to slice and dice you, and we saw that happen there, but the weakness, the Achilles heel of SOS Villains is going to be their retakes, because yeah, you have those long range weapons, but they're going to be inherently a little bit slower to get in. That really leans into the strengths that you have from Machine Love. So it kind of comes down to whoever is going to be able to get that initial zone pop, and whoever is able to get that initial lead to continue moving forward. Now moving to Clamblitz on Scourge Gorge. That sustainability that SOS Villains thrive on has now been challenged challenged here. So do they stick with their guns, try to see, hey, maybe it was a fluke. Maybe Woomy just happens to get in behind and we can just put that behind us.
Yeah, because having that Splatoon wiper and that one shot is its counter. That is a strong counter against VAC, which is one of their entry specials, and for Bubble as well, if you think about Hammer. But I don't think the SOS villains will let that one weapon shatter their whole game plan, assuming that's what they've been running this whole time, which has been working this whole time. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like what they need to do is adjust when and how they use their vacuums, because they can't use them as recklessly now, having that counter to them. But we're going to be getting into Clan Blitz, Scorch here. Yep, same comp coming out from SOS Villains, and same comp for Machine Lovers.
Yeah, because Woomy is going to be the X factor for Machine Love. 3 of the 4 specials that SOS Villains has can really be countered by that hammer or just their main weapon themselves. So definitely something to keep your eye on. Bonk, I'm sure, is thinking that's somebody I need to take out to really do well from my backlines, to really be able to assist them and everything. And you see the teamwork that has kind of been built up. That blaster shot, though, from Tufa managing to find its way on to Bonk. Ryu still staying alive, taking out Woomy. 1-for-2 trade will be had still, though no clear victor in that mid area. Assist has managed to find their way, though, onto that top mid as well as Woomy, but still feeling each other out, trying to get those initial specials. Kraken will find one. Can it find a second onto Woomy as they're just being hurled onto that right side, as it's just bloody battles happening in this mid area with no true victor. A nice shot from Sky trying to see if they can take out their counterpart and assist on that left side, but will avert their eyes elsewhere.
I just want to point out that Sky did go back to the regular charger unscoped just to see if they could have more mobility against the other leader. The bubble was put up on the elbow before getting quickly shredded, trying to get some points on the board. They do have the power climb. Heavy does go down. It is a 3v3 right now. Sky is left alone on this right side, getting rushed down. Isn't quite able to survive that before getting punished. It's just trade after trade here. 96 getting pushed back. They have the vacuum. They're trying to keep it up. They might be forced to pop it, but it can't because it's the wiper. And the wiper is just sitting alone. Here comes the Ultra Scam coming out. Is able to get the vacuum, meaning no vacuum for SOS Villains, as Machine Love pushes further into SOS Villains' base.
Nilla just trying desperately to get that cooler, and Tufa so dangerously low. Still manages to stay alive and has Splashdown to boot as well. But here comes the flank. Bonk has managed to find their way into the backline of Machine Love, and with a bubble to boot as well, completely reverting momentum. Bonk trying to see if they can find any more follow-up, but although they weren't able to get much of a score, honestly, the best defense is a great offense there from SOS Villains, as Machine Love were looking poised and so ready to move up that elbow area, but no one kept eyes on Bonk. Tufa trying to see if they can keep them away, but 2 players down on the side of Machine Love means the tides have completely turned just because of one flank.
Indeed. They are able to get that power for not too much follow-up coming up, but 2 going down on Machine Love. It is a 2v2. They don't have any more camps to score, making a safe retreat back to re-establish themselves before putting any more risky plays. We see 96 on the bottom right trying to get some sneaky plays off, isn't quite able to. It's just a matter of repositioning and trying to determine when is the right time to push. Tufa not quite able to finish it off that leader, but they are able to force out that Kraken. They are super close to a splashdown, 3v3 on the board. Essus making that jump out to protect that ball as 2 go down on SOS Villains. It is just this fight for mid, but it seems like Machine Love is going to be the one to make an advance. We'll be getting a flank on the left side, trying to go behind. Is able to find one. They are able to get the score off, but there is no follow-up in sight, but 2 are down on SOS Villains.
And Bonk just holding like a stone wall there, cuts through 2. Woomy being able to cut them down themselves. Hammer is available here for them to continue this momentum push, but you got to worry about not going too fast. You got to get those clams up first, as there's only 1 clam in possession of both teams here, just waiting and desperate fighting on this elbow position, just trying to see if they can get the clams going. Finally, a ball is formed. Woomy throws that hammer, not being able to find anybody, and in that time, SOS Villains able to rally, just Nilla remaining there in their own elbow. 3 down leads to SOS Villains immediately rushing up this elbow position.
Indeed, they are going to have a clam any moment. They have this vacuum ready to go. Vacuum going up, trying to ensure this score. They are able to make it. Wiper is not quite there yet. That's a pretty full back shot to me, but Wiper is behind, is able to get leader, and that's a wipeout in favor of Machine Love, and they are going straight for that basket.
Potential flipping of the script here. Still a lot of time to really build this up, and there is the score all the way down to 50. You still have a lot of clams to be thrown. There's 2 balls in the possession of Machine Love. There gets the one to get the lead. There's the second as well. An immediate flipping of the script as Machine Love have sitting really comfortably. The splashdown not being able to find the follow-up pick, but Tufa being able to take out one will allow some momentum to swing back into Machine Love's favor to try to hold that mid area. 10 seconds left. Vac is available, Keeley, but they go down pretty early. Very nice snipe, I believe, from mid from Rizzy. Now here comes the overtime push. 2 balls. That is enough to at least cause some major damage, but not quite enough to get that lead. Kraken coming in from Sky to open the way, open the door. Here comes the jumps, trying to come out, but Woomy is in the backline, finding both of the ball carriers. It is just left to the E leader being able to get taken out, and in a similar fashion, Woomy comes up clutch, being the star of the game to shut down that comeback. Machine Love 1 game away from a sweep against SOS Villains.
Oh, my mind was in a I thought it was the other way around. My mind was totally out the window. I was so lost. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I did see the Kraken from Sky try to get a little bit of a Kraken cheese, even though it's been patched out. But it was a good, strong, and overtime push attempt from SOS Villains. But I think they're just majorly struggling with the amount of AoE that Machine Love has. Is that the answer to their wacky comp? Is it sustainability versus AoE? I feel like that's what it comes down to. But that was a very back and forth game. We saw how one team was able to get a wipe, and then they were able to move, and so the other team got a wipe, and they were able to move. It was very back and forth.
Yeah, you have the 2 aggressive players. You have the flexibility from Machine Love with Tufa and Woomy to be able to take those fights. While on the other side with SOS Villains, you have to heavily rely on Bonk, and all the stars came out to play. I mean, Bonk was the one that was able to steal SOS Villains the lead initially when they were able to go on that single solo flank. They only got 1 score in, but then afterwards, the momentum that they were able to create, the space they were able to create, allowed SOS Villains to continually move forward. And then all of a sudden, at the drop of a hat, immediately everything flipped when Machine Love were able to get that wipeout on the hold. They were able to move in, get those couple of clams in, and at the very end, yet again, the wiper, Woomy, yet again, being able to completely deny not one, but both of the ball carriers from jumping to Sky to be able to even get an attempt at a retake. So it might just be Woomy, it might just be Viper. Honestly, it's a combination of both that has just been the Achilles heel stabbing away at SOS Villains that has yet to be answered. And on tower control, could be a similar story, but we saw what happened last time when SOS Villains played on tower control. They were able to cruise nicely with those specials.
Indeed. We see a Carbon coming up from Bonk this time. No more Bubble. And another Kraken leader. So we have double Kraken leader coming out from both teams. Tower control, Undertow. Carbon is going to be really aggressive here as they approach really fast. We see it already going up. Oh, wait, I just realized there's no 96.
Yeah, you have SOS Villains completely abandoning that comp and pretty much similarly matching what Machine Love's comp is trying to do, and with that Wiper and with that Zap and Carbon combination, as well as Tufa going down there to Ryu on that Zap. 3 players down on the side of Machine Love. So SOS Villains will move in. This is the adaptation I'm sure that SOS Villain wants to make. They're like, okay, this Wiper is just completely tearing through that Stolly type of comp. Let's try another one. This Sky is just trying to stay on that tower. Tufa threatening from that right side. Very nice shot from Sky to stay alive from that. Kraken finding 2. A third could be found as well. Sky coming up huge, and they will not be denied, as now this checkpoint slowly working their way through there. Sky single-handedly pretty much providing the space that is necessary in order for SOS Villains to get this checkpoint. The second one is always the most difficult, though, on tower control maps, and Machine Love will rally to stall to prevent any further damage, but what damage has been caused by Sky's triple?
Yes, we see Machine Love able to stop that push from SOS Villains before going 2 down themselves. SOS Villains is opting for the very much more aggressive play. Nice pick from Nilla here, all coolered up. Ooh, getting shut down by Sky 2, going down to Machine Love again, giving SOS Villains the chance to try and regain some control. We see Easy here trying to go up aggressive on the blaster, isn't quite able to, getting taken down. 2 down on SOS Villains now. They have 3 specials at their disposal, causing 1 to jump out. This first check's going to be cleared as they move on to the left side.
Potential opportunity to take this lead. It's gonna be very difficult, though. Nilla popping out that cooler, so the mistakes can be made if you're on the side of Machine Love. Aggressiveness can be had. You have 3 players hurled around on this left side. That splashdown could be deadly from Tufa, finding 2 assists. Chang on that tower will be able to take that lead there. An opportune moment for Machine Love to steal that lead away, as Tufa, just existing under that side, has been able to stall out more. And they are still going, being able to deny that hammer as well. Nilla getting on that tower. Can they get past this third checkpoint? 2 players are down on the side of SOS Villains. You don't really have the players there to be able to stall. The torpedo spam might do some wonders, though. Wumi trying to stay on, trying to see if they can keep chipping away, but that 19-point total will be what Machine Love has remaining. What a counterattack from Machine Love, who sit pretty comfortably now with 3 specials, though, on SOS Villains. They will not be denied. 2 minutes left. Can they prevent the sweep? Nice Zuka from Bonk to kick things off, though, but the tower still being threatened by Wumi in the backline, throwing the attentions of everyone as 3 fall for Machine Love.
Wumi's doing an impeccable job of being that key distractor in SOS Villains' side. 2 go down on SOS Villains. A nice trade there. Tufa's gonna get this pick. Oh, isn't quite able to do that. I thought that was a direct 2. The hammer coming out, isn't quite able to find it, getting blocked by the tower as the Wiper goes down on SOS Villains. Wiper down on both sides. 2 down on SOS Villains. 2 down on both sides. Holy crap. They just trade for trade. Oh my god. Zuka coming out, trying to counter that splashdown, isn't quite able to find anything as SOS Villains now has control of the tower.
A long way to go for SOS Villains. Nice Kraken kill to prevent out the jump out, but a minute 15 left. Still a lot of time to really work with. You have Ryu with this cooler up as well, trying to see if they can get a similar push going. Now, with a minute left, a lot of bombs will be thrown on this tower. Machine Love, no, they just have to keep staying alive, keep throwing stuff at that tower. Dare SOS Villains to make that initial move. With that tower being lost, though, here comes these specials just trying to be built up. That E-Leader 1v1 still happening in that mid-air, still strong as ever, but Sky finding themselves very much under duress. Wumi coming in with that hammer, does find 1 to fall in this fight. 3 now as well, and that is a wipeout to boot. Now Machine Love playing with house money. They can feel it. They just need to stay alive for these final 30 seconds, prevent absolute catastrophe. Nilla trying to build up that cooler to prevent themselves from doing so. Tufa does have a splashdown as well. You have a 1v1 happening in that mid area. 1-for-1 trade will happen. That cooler will be denied, at least for the temporary moment, from SOS Villains. Time ticking down. These 2 specials still alive. Tufa using 1. They do get taken out, but do find Bonk on that trade. 10 seconds left. Now you just have assists just chilling all the way back. Wumi there to assist them as well, trying to see if they can find anything, but it is desperation time for SOS Villains. They need to get on this tower. A lot of bombs being thrown, both sides using Krakens, but the Kraken will favor Machine Love, as Machine Love have done it. They have swept SOS Villains here in swim or sink. 224, avenging that previous loss that Sun Eaters had in the previous one, and very convincingly doing so.
Yes, it does seem that SOS Villains' game plan has a weakness this whole time. It just took until Machine Love to be able to realize it. But still great games from both teams. Of course, we have Wumi on the Wiper for Machine Love being that main distraction, doing wonders in the first game with the back kill. Second game getting both the clam jumps, and then the third game just running all over the map. Very impressive from both teams. And of course, there's always another week. But that was fun. I'm glad we were able to be a part of it and witness it, especially the double leader fights. We love that. Love it. I love seeing different styles of play at the highest level.
Yeah, and mirroring what SOS Villains pretty much did in that previous brackets. Machine Love, undefeated in a Great White bracket there. They didn't drop a single game throughout the entirety of this bracket, and they sit very comfortably now as champions of Swimmer Sync. So congratulations to them. They really found their stride in those first two games with, of course, IB Woomy showing up strong, but everybody on the side of Machine Love had their moments, really being able to throw a wrench in what SOS Villains was trying to do with their core of that strength, being able to stall out. Well, you can't stall out if you're dead, and that's what exactly happened in those first two games, causing SOS Villains to swap out. And although it worked a lot better against Machine Love's comp, when it mattered most, the players arose with Tufo with that splashdown on that left side that really opened the door for Machine Love to continue that flow.
Indeed. I think just special-wise, Machine Love had what they needed to counter the sustainability. Because like you got the hammer, you can get in the bubbles. You have what was the Kraken in the last few games to get anywhere else you need to. And then you have the splashdown to do what Carlos, I assume, tried to do the last set. You just had you had much more aggression to push back against their slower pace of SOS Villains, because they had the tools to move up at their own pace. But then we had Machine Love, who's like, "Now we're gonna make it our pace," and just ran them down. And I don't think SOS Villains was expecting.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. Really be able to take advantage of the economy and the strengths of your specials. But with that being said, that is GG's and wraps for Swimmer Sync number 224. Machine Love, congratulations to you. I believe that is the first SOS victory for Tufa on that team, and I believe I think that's the only person that this is the first SOS win too. But still, congrats nonetheless. With that being said, though, Melodic, we got to do our sign outs. Where can the people find you?
In bed. Just
real.
You can find me at MiloQ literally everywhere. MILOKY with 2 U's, except on TikTok, which is 3 U's because someone took my username. But where can the lovely people find you?
You can find me at Rocket_Splat on Twitch, at Rocket1 on Blue Sky, and this Sunday for the LAN Championship Showdown officially happening, where 12 clans have crowned their champions. Only one will reign supreme. You'll see me on the analytical desk there, so be sure to keep your eyes out this Sunday to see who will arise as the LAN Championship Showdown champion. But that's it for us. Shout out to Justin for being our wonderful streamer as usual, and we'll see you in the next week. Same time, same place. Take care.
Toodles.